to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kebab, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
With the Spoon and your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
For the Spoon to get your information. For the Spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kebab, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Okay, folks. You welcome. Time here in Liberia, 4 minutes down 8 p.m. Today is Thursday, the 13th day of April 2023. This is how I love to welcome you to another edition of Spoon Talk here on the Spoon Network. My name is Diamond Slanger. Let me now join the rest of the crew, beginning there with James Good Day Flomo. How are you, sir?
Yeah, how are you, Honorable? How do you do?
All right, Tato. Because you still forcing the Honorable Tato on me. But tomorrow, a holiday, you trying to put me in some kind of situation I can't handle, but it's okay. I accept the Honorable title today.
Tama, leave me back. Good evening, Dr. Richardson. Today, we ain't seen the doctor, though. I should put it at.
Yeah, you can. You can,
All
but
right.
I'm actually in my office coming to you
Oh,
from
wow.
a different device, my work device here.
All right.
So, how are you guys doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Dr. Richardson. Hope the same for you.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm, recovering from a bug, but we still have to press on. Life don't wait for you. You gotta work. You gotta work it. So, it's good seeing you guys. I'm sure we're gonna be joined by the other panelists. They will come in here to add to our conversation. But James, what play your background looking different?
Yeah, but I just changed position.
Oh, okay. You know me, my eyes can go everywhere now. You're my cherry. I gotta be checking on your.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Uh-huh.
Well, man, it's not gonna era, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be kind. I see that background before, so I
Oh,
gotta find out, I gotta keep my
yeah,
eyes on you guys and make sure all is well at all
yeah,
times.
yeah. I'm home.
hmm That's good. So, it's good to be here. I have some great news. Over the past 2 days, I've been having the American Psychological Association site visitors come to grant us accreditation.
Okay.
And so we should usually want to come to get to meet with everybody. They get to go into our file, see, how we do things here. And it's kind of like a check and balance system to make sure that you are training psychologists in training, would be psychologists the right way.
Mm.
So we just got through. That's why I'm here. Actually, I don't usually come on campus on a Thursday, but the director wanted all of us to be here. So we just got through they give us a feedback from how we did, which went very well. We got a lot of
Okay.
positive news, so I'm very excited. I was kind of a lot of stress, and then they're going to take this information back to the American Psychological Association accreditation body. Then they review it. Then there's another body that reviews it. So 6 months from now, after all the reviews, then we're going to get the actual report that will tell you, we know we passed, but we don't know whether it's passing for 3 years, 6 years, or 10 years. So they give you increments. If you get 10 years, that'd be great because I won't be here. I'll be retired by then, by the time they come back around. So I'm really excited that we, after, they get to talk to your students, they get to talk to adjunct professor, they get to talk to everybody to see, are you practicing and teaching the students according to how the American Psychological Association designed their plan for you to teach the students. So, and we did well. So good. So let me hear what's going on in Liberia. I hear tomorrow is a holiday in Liberia. Diamond, I will go to you, and then Good Day, I will go to you.
Yeah. Tomorrow is a holiday year. So a lot of folks will be relaxing at home. Some will be hanging out with family members, and some will use the day to get some work done that they'll ease their workload for Monday. But all the same, tomorrow is a holiday. A lot of things happening in Liberia, but as usual, I like to start with the soft news. And
Mhm.
this one came from Bon County. I saw this on the internet, and I decided to contact one of our stringers there in Bon County, where it was reported that a 9-month-old baby, boy, was found after being abandoned around the Banga Administrative Building. Thankfully, that baby was found by passerbys, bypassers, if you want to call it that way, or passerbys. They saw the baby and they rescued him. He's a healthy boy. The good news is we have a lot of people, queuing up to adopt this child. Last year around the same time, it wasn't so much of a fortunate situation where a days old baby was abandoned on the Gabriel Tucker Bridge, and I went to cover that story, one of the heart-wrenching stories I've ever covered. That baby died, due to being exposed to the elements. So it raises the question as to what are those things that people go through, that you have to abandon, a child. Some would say it's better to birth the child and give the child to somebody else to take care of the child than leaving that child, to fate that something can happen, whatever could happen to that child. But thankfully, that handsome boy was rescued. And thankfully, he's got a lot of, people standing by to adopt him as well. Still
Diamond,
in Bunk.
Di-
Yeah, yeah,
Diamond,
that's it.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't want to forget. You know, women having struggles when they have a child is, worldwide. It's not unique to Liberia.
Sure.
But they have a program here in the United States. At least I think actually
maybe in New Jersey, because you got to speak according to the state that you live in Pennsylvania, that if you have a baby and you feel like you don't want that baby anymore, you can take it to the nearest police station, no question asked. Because we had a little bit of an issue of abandonment of babies in the state here, and I hope that maybe someday we can just adopt a central location where, if you're having postpartum depression or some challenges, when you have a baby, it's a lot, So, but it's good that that child was safe and rescued, and people want to adopt the child. But so thank you for picking up on that soft news. I just wanted to say that before I forgot it.
Yeah, that's why we've been advocating for a much, effective welfare system in our country. Not just for old people, but also to have a social welfare system that can take care of kids who will be abandoned, or kids who don't have parents. So that they don't become a societal charge to us in the future, that they will cause problems for us and all of that. People abandoning their babies and all of that. So this one from Bone County, I've dubbed Fatal Affair. A guy in Bone County, a 34-year-old man, killed his former girlfriend because, according to his own explanation, she had already told him the relationship was over.
This is recent again.
Yeah,
it sounds like I heard this before.
Yeah, so you hear this a lot. So this guy decided to end her life. According to his own explanation, he was begging her to forgive him, and she told him he's not man enough. She's got a new man called Mark and all of those things, and he got angry, and then he hit her, according to him, with his elbow under her chin. She fell and she died.
Amen.
But he's asking the government and the people of Liberia to forgive him, that he didn't mean to do it. Yeah, so he killed this lady in Bone County, and the same similar happened in this place called Vartown in Virginia, where another man killed his 33 years old wife on the presumption that she was having extramarital affairs. He shot her multiple times, according to reports, in her eyes, in her mouth, and stuff like that, and he's on the run. So we have to be careful. The level of domestic violence in this country now is on the up. People doing a lot of things and stuff like that. All right. So quickly, just to wrap up, in Grand Jita County, a logging truck allegedly belonging to a company called Euro Logging, ran into motorcyclists, killing 3 persons there in Grand Jita County. This happened between John Davis Town and Panwille in Grand Jita County. 3 persons lost their lives as well. Quickly, you all witness what happened today concerning the petition from the United Opposition Task Force, headed by former Maryland County Senator and former Ambassador John Balu, calling on Cummins and Boyka to unite. Whether there is a glimpse of hope, listening to the speech delivered by Chairman Musa Hassan Bilete, whether he has left the door ajar, that okay, let this commitment be shown, that let's have a meeting, let the UP present what they want, and let the CPP listen to it, and we'll see whether or not we can find a solution to this. So this has brought a lot of cheers from the opposition community, that we need to unite. This has been a song, we've been hearing this song blaring and blaring louder, that Cummins and Boyka should unite, whether it's a marriage of convenience or whatever it is, that they should, if they want to save this state, according to opposition supporters, they should unite. Who will be the vice, who will be the presidential candidate? They should find a way around this to make this happen. So that's that, Dr. Richardson, from stories that I decided to share on this platform as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Diamond. Sad news, especially for the baby. I'm glad that the baby was rescued. Also, like you acknowledge the rise in domestic violence, and a lot of times people think that we don't have psychological problems in Liberia. There's link between domestic violence and psychological problem. Men wanting to feel in control of their own fear and insecurity will pop up, and so they project that onto a woman, and sometimes that projection comes in the way of violence, like killing someone and harming another woman. You're so insecure that you think that if the woman leaves you, you're just not going to manage, you're not going to live again, and then so you just create this kind of situation where you end up killing her, which is just terrible. And I think psychology is we need to also budget or give more money to Grand Hospital or to JFK outpatient setting so that we can address these issues as well. I hope that people who were victims of the logging truck company, I hope that those people definitely can get some kind of settlement from that company. It was a logging company. James, you're laughing a little. Something going on. You and your boss man in the back, right? Come on in. Tell us. Come way in. I asked your boss man. I asked Stenton, your boss man, to come and help me out today with moderating. So
I won't step on him. I refuse to send him a link.
Oh, please send him the link because you guys can hear how I sound, right? I'm just pressing on, so I need someone to help me today.
I refuse to send him the link, so he got saying, "God bless you." I know what to do. Let more in.
Okay, I'll let you moderate the show. You're your boss.
Yeah,
so Truman, James, you got anything to add to what Diamond said?
Yeah, basically not too much. About 9 opposition parties had meeting in Cinco yesterday, and the meeting was centered around a possible collaboration for them. And among the opposition political parties that attended that meeting, we had the MPC, we had the MDR, the Unity Party, and so on. About 9 of them, they met. So we are now seeing light at the end of the tunnel that the guys are getting prepared for a possible collaboration. But one major opposition party that we did not see at that meeting yesterday was your party,
The
ANC.
Yes.
We don't know why ANC did not attend that meeting. We don't know why they refused to attend that meeting. But what I listened to,
do you know if they were invited?
Oh no.
Okay. No, when you say refuse to attend,
I can't confirm if they were invited or not.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. Yeah. I got the impression when you used the word refuse to attend, so I got the impression that they were invited and they refused to attend. Okay.
Yeah. So they had a meeting.
You got a haircut, James?
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell.
You don't want to have a whole discussion.
No, I'm not diverting. I just, I'm just observing, just looking to see. The last time I saw your hair, when I'm looking like this, that's why.
I know all the things that you do it, but I will not stop.
Listen, the chairman of the CPP was here yesterday. I heard you guys had a dynamic show. It's very spirited. Everybody kept on calling me. I was in class last night, calling me, and also, today the calls in the inbox continues. The chair spoke. So whatever the chair said yesterday, I agree. So there's nothing you can say about ANC or CPP that the world don't know.
Okay.
Balu, that whole thing that you cover, Senator Balu, when you were here, I was under the impression that the whole Liberians, the way he came and said, this is what Liberians want. This is what I look at it. The coverage today, I've counted about 50 people that Liberians there. You know how many the population of Liberia?
I'm coming. How many people representing us in government? Are they more than 10,000?
I have no clue, but that's not Liberians. That's a few, about 50. Let's be very specific. I was under the impression there's a whole group of people will be marching. There was a group of people who are interested in this unity between Boycott and Cummins. And then you guys cover it, and I actually took some time to see who were these people. So I'm just I counted how many people. So let's say about 50 persons are interested in this union, and that's fine if that's the case.
So can I continue?
Yes, continue.
No, you cannot continue. You cannot. Dr. Richardson, what's your position on this?
What do you mean? What's my position?
What's your position? You want opposition unity? You want Cummins and Boycott? Yo, James, what are you saying no? What James?
My CPP was here yesterday. My CPP chair. Chairman
Because
Billy was here yesterday,
but listen, I know you guys didn't start
and
the show
I
yet.
stay with his
Damo,
position.
y'all not started the show? Y'all started the show already?
No,
he
just
started
warm up.
early.
I
Just
feel
warm
up there, but she now want me to end up.
No, don't end on the update because I was listening to you without even greeting the folks. I'm kind of confused. What
We
ready
even reached to
CPP?
that place yet.
I don't know
What
what
ready CPP won? What ready you won? Are we missing something?
you missing something,
Yeah, what is it? What ready you want, Dr. Richardson?
Mr. Ability outlined exactly.
Not Miss Ability. Let's forget about angry man Miss Ability. Let's talk
No,
about you.
well,
What ready you want, Dr.
whatever
Richardson?
he said yesterday is representative of what.
Oh,
the
so what
CPP
Ability said, why you counting on?
I'm not counting on it. I'm standing
What
by
Dr.
it.
Richardson, Abraham Richardson, West, what ready
Yes.
she want? What Abraham actually, what ready he desire right now? When you talk about opposition, let's talk about Abraham. Let's talk about Dr. Richardson. You're confusing us.
I'm not
Fiola
confusing.
called me.
The
Listen,
CPP.
guys. I know we're waiting for the rest of them, but Diamond, Tiola is in Liberia. I will give you her number. Call her. This guy is confused like hell.
I think
She
it's.
will call me behind closed door and say that's the best thing. It's okay. But then when they come on camera, no, let's be frank. Let's say as it is.
No, I think you're presenting this kind
no,
of.
no. I beg you, Dr.
portraying-
Richardson, because I'm kind of a winner, Brian. You know, I sorry, Irina, but we gotta say, King Leo, what ready CPP people want? One day you want it, another day
you were on
want
the
it,
show
but
yesterday. You're in your element yesterday.
Joe
Listen, I
said
don't want
you
to talk
my
loud. You disturbing my colleagues here, man.
Yeah, I know. Please don't talk loud because you at your school, you're in your office, we can see behind you. But Joseph Yima Bwaka won't make a selection. You say, no. Don't make your selection, pause. Then I say, okay. Then we pick up the phone, we call JMB and say, JMB, please wait. Give it 2 more weeks. They call JMB. JMB, John Balu doing something. Please chill a little bit. JMB said, okay. Prince Johnson said, why are you telling JMB to chill? Jeremiah said, my man, let's go ahead. He asking CPP, the Dr. Francine Special Chino with Richardson. What you want?
When you're done, I will tell you exactly what I want. I'm waiting for you.
No, don't wait for me. Let's open the phone line. Let's ask the people what they want. Open the phone line. Don't wait for me. Yeah, man, we're tired with this thing, man. We're tired. Damon, stop laughing, Damon. Stop laughing. Damon, listen.
But you just didn't hijack the show from Dr. Richardson like that.
I'm
telling you. And the funny thing is, she called for your help. You see the help you call for her. Why else?
I'm telling you.
ANC is in a state of
before you open the line, Damon, let Good finish.
Dr. Richardson, you get this. No, Good Day. I finished Assumption Good Day. He didn't say nothing right now.
This
Dr. Richardson, let me ask you a question. Dr. Richardson, please. Huh? You doing this. This is what you do for a living. Okay? That's what they call you, doctor. If you find a human being so confused, like CPP, and I know they're going to beat on me. CPP, if you find a human being, no, confused people party. Hold on, let it get fair with me. But Dr. Richardson, though, all of that, let it get fair with me now.
We're in the higher. Fatika, how you doing today?
Guys, yes. This is your show, okay? We come here, we put, as Prophet King can say, we put jobo. So this is your show. But let me frame. My man, but can you change your device? I have seen you come on and something talking behind you.
Hold on.
You got something playing. Maybe you need a new cell or new computer or something.
A CPP computer.
A CPP computer there too.
Who's saying that? Good day that you don't want talking?
Look at
you know, standing out here all the time. Your CEO not here all the time. You here with us?
No, that's a former CEO. Oh, so Damon, open the phone and 5 callers real quick. Let's ask them what CPP want. Damon, don't you leave today. I need that phone line open. We got to talk to the Liberian people. And is Aaron ready?
No, but Liberian people need to
Aaron
understand.
ready, Damon? Did Aaron give you the document? Correct. So Damon, please. We need 5 to 10 callers right now. Dr. Richardson, I beg you to pause for a minute. You've been doing this thing a long time. You've been doing this thing a long time.
Including the Unity Party. They decided to exit. Okay? Now, Mr. Billy said, if you want to come back and you want to negotiate as opposed to talk down to us, he was very irate yesterday. He said that John Baloo just came and said, orchestrating like he got a puppet, that he said, oh, you be this, you be that, and that people will vote that way. That is not how it works, okay? That is not how it works. So Liberian people need to know that.
No, I think we are.
So nobody must say anything. Nobody should say anything. Let's give the doctor a chance to feel that Becky Ahasing. Let everybody mute themselves. Let's give doctor all the 2 hours of the program today. Let you finish.
Yes.
I'm begging you.
So Liberian people need to know that.
And let how you go in down. Let everybody put a hand to the ear. The teacher teaching now. Let's pay attention.
That way you need help, just send it that way.
Yeah, I'll give you my time when I finish. I'll let you share my time with you. So Miss and Billy was right to be upset. Because Mr. Baloo came here, he made it seem like the Liberian people behind this, Liberian people behind this. So I was waiting to see, and then come to go find out, I saw him march with like about 50 people to, I don't know, it was a CPP headquarters that he went to. That's not representative of the Liberian people. And I asked him that specific question when he was here, and he said, oh, I'm not into empirical study, I'm not into science and what have you. But say Senator Baloo, this is what I'm interested in, but don't come put us on the impression that it is what Liberian people want. And I want to reiterate exactly what Mr. Billy said yesterday. Mr. Billy said, we created the CPP. He and his team created the CPP for unity. Don't time me. You say I should talk for 2 hours. I can do that. I teach for 3 hours at a time. Okay? All right? That's why the CPP was created. Vice President Walker in the Unity Party exited the CPP. That's what they did. They didn't want unity. Nah, all of a sudden they want to come back. They want unity. Where was Senator Baloo? And I hope he's listening to this program. Where was he when they were dragging Mr. Cummings in?
That's what Richard said. I have
taking this 50 group of people that he marched.
My finger up, teacher. I got a question.
CPP headquarters.
Teacher.
Where were the 50 people when they were going to court? Why didn't they go march to court and stand up? So anyway, let's go and let me welcome.
Professor, my finger up. I have a question. Please recognize my finger, please.
Yes. What's your question?
Thank you. Before our brother Hussein jump in, I'll ask you a direct question. Please don't answer. Don't give me the ability to answer. Please do not. Dr. Richardson, do you desire, seriously, let's put our joke aside. Do you look forward to Jose Yima Barker and Arizona Cummings? Do you want that ticket? Is that what you want? Yes or no?
I don't want that ticket, and that's not up to me.
Thank you. You don't want that ticket. Thank you. No. Hey, listen, guys. Al Hussein, we'll come to you. We'll give you a time. Fagon. Hey, what you bring Fagon in for, man? Hey, man.
The man come with Fagon to scare me. It was scare me.
Yeah, man. Don't bring Fagon in, yeah. We're trying to set something up for Fagon. You bring Fagon in. The man can't wait to
scare me.
The man can't wait to that from on Nippo Street. But Al Hussein, let me ask you a question.
What did he do? So menacing.
Hussein, on a serious note, let's do this, all right? And let me friend, my brother. It's very important. What actually CPP want? We're going to open the phone line to listen to the Liberian people. And I want only CPP people calling. What actually CPP, if they get any CPP in Liberia, they should call. What actually CPP want?
I can tell you what a CPP will want. I can say that.
CPP people in America more than CPP people in Liberia. No.
That's not true, Fagon. You don't even know the roster.
Yeah, I can confirm that.
Good day that you don't talk here. I keep on telling you.
You ask the question. Let me answer now.
Yeah, I have to answer.
Well, I think the CPP wants what every Liberian wants. They want bad governance out. They want good governance in. They want better roads, better health care. Everything that George Weah and his band of, call them whatever, refused to deliver to the Liberian people. Everything that the pro-poor agenda failed to deliver over the last 6 years, and they are asking for more to finish off the bad work that they are doing. So when you ask what the CPP want, they want everything. We want everything the Unity Party want. We want everything every other political party want for Liberia. We all want the best for Liberia. Plus more. But we believe, and this is where we differ, a lot of people differ on it. We believe that the only way we can achieve this is by coming together. We saw it. This have been tested before. It's not something that we got to go, Tony. When the CPP was united, when we had people, we had a winning streak.
No, I beg you, don't go. I beg you, Al Hassan, that what you made me. That what Al Hassan, don't do that. Don't talk about the plural. Don't say we. Let's be similar tonight. What Al Hassan want? Dr. Richardson says she doesn't want it.
Well, I want to unite.
So what you want, Al Hassan?
It's about the Liberian people.
No. I want you, Al Hassan.
I won or united because having checked around.
So you agree because we gotta move on. We gotta go to that phone line. You, Fadika, you agree that you want a Joseph Boakai being president and Zana coming vice president. You want that ticket?
We don't have to stop putting specific. Let's stop. Let's take baby steps. Let's take baby steps.
That's where he's going, Fadika. This is where he's going.
The problem comes when everybody's in a married position. You don't want to create this.
And that's a problem because you guys are not sincere.
No,
okay. I asked Dr. Richardson what she want. Dr. Richardson, I don't want party opposition unity. I'm asking you what you want, and you gave me spot of story.
Let me tell you, because sometimes it can be distracting, but let me be specific. You see, if you look at the both ticket, just using common logic, Joseph Boakai has been a vice president for 12 years. I mean, just common logic. Even a 3-year-old will understand that it just doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. It's just not right to make. It's just not logical for him to go as vice president for the second time. One, he has an experience. He's been there for 12 years. He knows the thing. Stepping him up one level wouldn't be the bad thing. It just make purpose sense. You don't even have to go and talk about it.
We understand all that. What you want
to focus on? Because those are things that distract us and everybody.
Do you want Joseph Boakai president coming vice president ticket? Now you're stuttering.
Yes, I believe it. Let me tell you how this works. How we see it. This is how we see it. We see Joseph Boakai as the now and Cummings as the future.
Do you want a Joseph Boakai president coming vice president ticket?
Yes, to move.
Thank you.
If that why
you are going contrary to what Dr. Richardson said.
No, Dr. Richardson and myself always differ on this.
Okay, thank you. That's your position. Eugene Lami Fagon. Before we go to the phone line, Eugene Lami Fagon, we have two opposition right now. One of them saying no, hell no. There should be no single way we have JMB and Cummings. No, John Lemon win election, but there should be no JMB and Cummings on the same ticket. We have another opposition called Al Hussein, Saddam Hussein brother Al Hussein, saying tonight on this show that he agreed there must be an opposition ticket, Joseph Yima Boakai president, Cummings vice president. Eugene Fagon, what do you want as an opposition?
You're talking about the people then who say the presidency belonged to them because they were having Coca-Cola with $292 billion. That's what you're talking about.
That's not a fair description.
It may get his time to talk. You don't interrupt the man. The show ain't start yet. If that man talk,
you're not answering your question. You're talking about you're still describing something else. Answer the question. We're on the show. You're not talking your own correctly.
Teacher, Femi.
Yes.
I don't want peace. I want problem.
No. You said the teacher might fail you. The teacher might give you 92 for B. Hey. I'm about to answer my question, man.
You know, Stanton, I love the Liberian people. And first of all, greetings to all of you and our people in radio and television land, online platform, everywhere. It's Al Hussein today saying, it just doesn't seem right. It makes no sense that a man who was one level below the presidency should sit down for somebody to just come, and then he served as vice president again. For that, like he did hand a day, and you don't put right to president of it. It just don't feel right. It just hey swelling. We look at some of these things. We talk to our colleagues that this ticket could be the best because it's like they're all rescuing the country from a young boy, taking the country out of the hands of a young guy who has ruined the country, and then turning it over to the generation of educated Liberians, professional Liberians, Liberians with good character, and what have you. These people said that this man ran Coca-Cola with 292 billion. We asked them, we appealed to them that, look, he's a good man. But trust me, when they bought Coca-Cola from Firestone, you know Coca-Cola, C1, Firestone, Coca-Cola, all of them. When they bought Coca-Cola from Willie LaBrant, put a next thing they gave us, that was 30 water. Now, can you put your 30 water? They men were there. The original Firestone, the Coca-Cola that used to foam, the one he was the man for, he said that they took it out of our country. We don't want to talk all that thing. Ask anybody. Ghanaian men are king a principle.
You can't start distorting the fight. You see that
I'm telling you. That's not.
Hold on 1 minute. No. Fagon, I have to stop you. Fagon,
you cannot be distorting the fight.
Are you going to put a bar Coca-Cola?
Okay, the man said I'm not discuss the past.
No, you are distorting. He said distorting. He said discuss. You are distorting.
You gotta give Fagon chance.
You are providing fake news to Liberians. Talk about John Buchanan, who was there for more than 2 years.
Hold on. Fagon.
What he brought to the Liberian people. You're not looking at confidence when we talk about this thing here. Confidence. All you're thinking about.
That's the richest. Fagon, wait, Fagon.
I will wait.
The people buy Coca-Cola, they send to Labrador, they buy Fanta, they buy grape. You going to put it on commies? Are you putting it on commies?
No, he's not going to put it on commies.
I'm asking him because this is one of the worst. This is one of the worst things I've ever heard for Fagon, the former Deputy Minister of Information, to put a byproduct or end product of Coca-Cola on commies. Are you serious, Fagon?
And what product do we put on Joe Buckeye? Nothing. For 12 years, Joe Buckeye was in Liberia serving as vice president. He himself said he was the last person that left the room with Ellen. What did he tell Ellen? He can't come and tell us today. What did he do? Minister of Agriculture, he can't come and tell us today. Have you guys heard anybody tell you what Joseph Buckeye did for Liberia? Let's talk about the group of 77.
But Dr. Richardson, hold on now.
Can we get some testimony from
Dr. Richardson, that Fagon answer the question.
The group of 77.
Let's talk about the lottery program. Hold on.
What did he do for the lottery program?
Dr. Richardson.
What did he do when he was at LPMC?
Dr. Richardson. Wait.
So let's focus on that. Say Joseph Buckeye in government for 12 years, 40 years, whatever y'all want to put it on. What did he do for the Liberian people?
Dr. Richardson.
I like how you like to focus on other people's, other leaders. I like the fact
that. Dr. Richardson, we got to take our time now. Don't do this to us. You can't hijack the show.
If you ask me that question, I will tell you.
Fagon must speak. Fagon, don't do this to us tonight. I'm begging you. Don't do this. I'm asking you a question. I just answer my question, Fagon, please. We got to move on. We got very important information for the people tonight. Please.
Last night, you and Fadiga, y'all making fun of me when I told y'all the train left the station. Fortunately for me, I'm the cowboy on that train. I loaded the train. Nobody can tell me what I know. We are going to be stopping in Magidi on Sunday to wait for the other people from Buchanan to come and join the train for us to head to Mosovado to delay one.
That's democracy. We welcome that.
So let me answer your question now. Why is it that the people who said, on this your platform that you created for the Liberian people, after they realized that their platform was for the Liberian people, these people sat on this platform in their numbers and unanimously agreed that minus Cummins at the head of the ticket, there will be no ticket. Even Damo is my witness. Now we've been sitting at the station. In the last 1 week, all Liberians will come there and admit, UJ Chinch, Remy Great Chinch, he adjusted a small, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, our glass of water go right away. Why so soon? And I see why so soon on Facebook. But why so soon? Everybody decided to come forward and say,
we gotta go ahead. Just answer the question. Do you want a ticket? Joseph Boyka president, Cummins vice president? Yes or no? Is that what you're looking forward to?
Who me?
Yeah.
I'm a cowboy on the train. I don't want carrying the train. I here for
Which one on the train? Which one on the train?
The JMB train.
Okay, who's in the train with JMB?
That JMB, that Nyombli, that Jeremiah Kun, that PYJ, that Besonga Finley, that Tenapolo, that Nukwe, that from Lofa,
Delon?
that Delon there. Look the
Bocha? Bocha?
Bocha is saying that right in the front seat. I don't know why you doing that with the chief driver. All in there.
So you have all the group of people in the train. Can you? Is there room in that? No, hold on. Hold on. You name me these people in the train. Hold on. Is there room in that train for Alexander Cummings?
Well, the only room that left there now, like pay the luggage out.
Oh.
On the one day, that's fine.
Sir. No, 1 minute. So, welcome to the Spoon Talk. Dr. Richardson said, whenever I appear on the show, George Lobo, stop laughing. George Lobo, don't do that.
I need to respond to
that. One more time, we'll bring him on the show. There's no way he can laugh.
I don't want peace.
One more time, I will bring him on the show.
I need to respond to Fago.
I want Dr. Richardson to respond. I want Dr. Richardson to respond.
Let me respond to him.
Thank you. Before Dr. Richardson respond, right? Fagon, please. I gave you 30 seconds of my time. Can you please name who all on the JMB train one more time, please?
All right, let's start.
Let me mute everybody. We want to hear Fagon very well.
Senator Steve Zago. He's sitting on the left side of the window there. The guy, from Bapolu County, that woman, she on the train. Vanny Sherman on that train. Edwin Maddy Snow is on a puppet train. He died. He right there to the left side of the window. I see him right now. The Morris Setuma, he the mean man sitting in the middle seat. Senator for Bomi. The Henry Topper, he on the train. Prince Moi, he on that train. Darius Delon on that train. Tanapol on that train. Nukwe on that train. Then Nyombli on the train. Don't call me over. Kaipe, he on that train.
30 seconds.
PYJ to the right side of the window, he looking outside on the train track. He the one telling the conductor where to pass the train. Jeremiah Kun, he's sitting right next to the paper, on the paper right hand side. That the Jeremiah Kun sitting now. Nobody saying now there beside Jeremiah Kun. If you look, Francis Pay from River says he's sitting.
But Fago, what are you looking at? You got something? You see in the tree? You're looking at something. What's that?
Looking at right now.
But again, I will ask you before we go to Dr. Richardson. You talking about Prince Johnson, Jeremiah Kun, Yombli Kanga Lawrence, yes. Bernard Ure, Abraham Darius Delon. You talking about Setoma, Bocha. You talking about how you call her from Bapolu, Dada Omar. You talk about Yombli Kanga Lawrence. You talk about Charlene Bronsky. You talk about Besonga Finley. You're talking about Samuel Kofi Woods. You are talking about all those veterans.
Everybody.
The puppet train.
The train overloaded.
I'm asking you, it's overloaded. But I'll ask you two questions. And Liberians is about to call in. They're about to call in. I beg you, if I'm going to be sincere with the Liberian people tonight, I beg you. You have named everybody on that train. Is there any room left on that train for Alexander Cummings?
I, Eugene L. Fagon, do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Let me tell you something. The hardest thing is for somebody to be on the tree. When a papa get on the tree, they can look at somebody and say, hey, you, can I let the old man sit down? But for now, the only seat available on that tree is sitting out on a luggage and small space there. That only in the luggage compartment now, Cummings can fit. I don't want to.
I will ask you my second question before I go to our host and Dr. Richardson. My second question, quick. Has the train left the station?
Yes, we are heading right now to Magibi, where we are scheduled to wait for the people.
So there's no seat, but the train left the station.
The train left the station. Some people can
listen to me, guys. This is very interesting today. There's one of the best show I believe we're going to have today. Al Hussein, make your point. Dr. Richardson will go to the phone line. No
Let me
seat on the
say-
train, and the train left the station. Go ahead, Al Hussein.
Let me tell you something. What I don't want people to get confused is that by us calling for opposition unity and talking and even suggesting that just in the interest of the Liberian people, that one person take the lead and move the thing power should not in any way be construed as diminishing Mr. Cummings. Let me tell you something. Mr. Cummings remains one of the best, if not the best, candidate in this race. And why that stream may be low, the thing is, Basel people got a parable to say we their way. That means all the women team resemble. Jaha Boyka got train, Cummings has a train, and that train is a high speed, one of those high rail train. And in as much as you guys can see that train, look, Boyka have had this train before. The last train Boyka had 12. I don't know how all the senators on that train. They have more people than now on that train. And you know what happened to that train? That train had, I don't know, train don't have tire, but that other train have flat tire. So for me, I still believe that there is possibility because in speaking about train and all these different things, just tell us about what we can do together. I'm looking at possibility. I'm looking at the fact that there is no way under this God heaven that Boyka doesn't have the number. Nobody has the number. Even the CDC do not have the number. But I know that the surest way to achieve victory is by us coming together. If that doesn't happen, the way of the Liberian people doesn't happen, we also have other option. And that option is for us to fight the few good guys, to fight like our lives depend on this and ensure that we win the hearts and mind of the Liberian people. And in 6 months, we still have the possibility. That is still possible. So don't get it twisted because the next thing is Kun. Kun is a fine candidate.
No, we're not on Kun yet. We're not on Kun yet. Let's stick with the tree issue. Al Hassan, I won't go to Dr. Richardson. We are not on Kun yet, Al Hassan. Let me ask you a question. You said Mr. Cummings have his own train. Beautiful.
It's a
beautiful. He has his own train. Let me ask you, who are on Mr. Cummings' train?
A lot of people, the Liberian people on his train. People that
who are? Give me names. Give me names. Let me name names.
That woman that want better education. That woman that want a corruption free, that do not want the old order. That woman that want change. That woman that want genuine change and that chance to give the same people that was there for 12 years. But the reason why we do not want to indulge in this kind of conversation is because it steers us away from the biggest target, which is Georgia. So when we start having this discussion here, because at the end of the day, we'll all meet in the second round. We'll all meet one way or the other.
No, Faga, you're not coming. We gotta go to Dr. Richardson.
Lose your talk.
Lose it. Go ahead.
More than me. So, and Chairman Benedict was
husband and my friend. No problem. Let's show your man.
Chairman Benedict was very clear yesterday that this asking for opposition unity should no way be construed as a sign of weakness on the CPP part. The CPP has a strength. The CPP has a history of winning multiple elections. We won several Senate seats. And
what tree is this? What tree is this? What tree is this?
That Boyka tree.
Boyka get yellow in a party. That tree looking like green. And
the tree laying one side.
And I your color there.
Dr. Richardson coming. We gotta do our show.
I'm not finished.
Before you, Al Hassan, by Leon and Lumba.
Here.
No, your 10 seconds feeling bad. Let Dr. Richardson go ahead.
Give my 30 seconds because Fagon have more time to call, but Fagon name all the people on the tree.
There are two on. When I ask you to name your people, you're not naming them. Who are on Mr. Cummings' train?
I name a lot of people.
You didn't.
You said that woman who China.
You said that woman.
Yes, the Liberian woman. Liberian woman.
That's what let me answer these people. Now. Our train is not made of personalities.
Yes.
It's not made of name.
Yes.
Our train is a makeup of the entire
woman
that was going to bed hungry to die.
Fagon, we gotta go. Dr. Richardson come in. Fagon, we gotta go. Dr. Richardson come in.
And our train is made of that Liberian woman who is stuck at JFK right now.
Exactly.
Cannot get out because she just had a baby and they're holding her hostage until she paid the bill. The train is made of that child who going between cars
That's
trying
the
to
train.
sell to make a living for their family. That's who's our train. The train is the market woman who gotta go sell daily, okay, to put her child in school. The train that we have is for the Liberian people who are out of work, the people who are protesting, people from that Ministry of Transport who are protesting because they have been underpaid. Those are the people that Mr. Cummings speaks for. That's the people that the CPP speaks for. We love and appreciate all Liberians. We in fact, we love the people on your train. But we're not here to be putting personality and orchestrating who we think is a person who can lead Liberia right now. Okay? Because
The
all the
thing
people
got all Indian. So Indian in the people with that.
Fagon,
all the
And I'm
people on
talking, you hear me talking?
all the people on your train, we appreciate them, all right, but it's the issue of leadership and negotiation. This is not an issue we're going to kind of orchestrate and say, oh, this person will be president, this person will be vice president, this person will be pro tem, and say I'm speaking on behalf of the Liberian people. It does not work this way. That's not how leadership and politics work. It's a matter of competition, negotiation, and having winnability all the time. We sit here and talk about, oh, Buckeye can win, Buckeye can win. There's more to democracy than just saying somebody can win. Win to govern what? And who are you governing? Are you governing the hospitals? Are you governing the schools? Are you governing our economy? You know, we've used this formula of winning over the past couple of years. Liberians have done that. They said, oh,
Now, you forget they had 12 years.
Yes.
You already know what they can do.
Of course. Okay.
You know,
can we move on?
we know what they can do.
No.
You know, we know what they can do.
Fagon way.
Yeah.
Fagon way. Thank you very much, Dr. Richard.
And what have we seen of that 12 years? So let's get serious here, okay? This is not about personality. This is about the Liberian people, the state of Liberia, and I want us to be serious about that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. We want to recognize Tiola Gibson, my sister, who is currently in Liberia. She's one of my best CPP sisters. And Louise Page, another sister, Sadamatu Donkey, who cannot be with us today. Muna Fahad. Want to recognize all the great women of CPP. Our show right now just got started. Fagon, close us before we go to the phone line. And we're going to go to the main
I want to
conversation.
welcome the audience as well. Let's do a few.
We welcome all of the audience. They know this is your program.
Let me talk for you. You have cousin there. Sadamatu, you have cousin there. The only person that get family that the only two that fatigue brother, only two of them finish. No other person. But you know, like, on a much more serious note, thousands of people watching us. The greatest fear of the CDC has always been the CPP. And that is why the CDC worked assiduously to disintegrate, dismantle. You people are on the show, and I educated the entire world about the cornbread scenario. You bring milk, you bring egg, you bring corn meat, you bring all that thing. All those things are different components. But when mixed and put in the oven and it's baked, it's now cornbread. It's no longer flour and corn meat and egg and sugar and milk. They were individuals. They were standing by themselves. But after being baked, they became whole. The CPP dominated and defeated the CDC. Against this backdrop, the Liberian people called for a united party between these two people. Over 1 year and a half to election, the Liberian people bowed to their knees, begging the candidates to come together. But more so, the Liberian people was observant that, okay, let's see a fight between the two and who's strong and who understands Liberia. After that, the Liberian people made their pitch. JMB, you the older one, more experience. 42 years, you know Liberia. Young man, you are educated, you from the US, you economically savvy, we need things here. Go honor your father. I never one day heard this man say, oh, that man is this, that man is that. He always say, I'm not running to be VP. But all the people around him, someone else said they would rather waste tea on themselves for the CA happy. The Liberian people went to court and made a ruling. The Liberian people ruled. JMB.
I don't think you've been fair to us.
Wait.
On too much time.
You are talking
I don't have more than 30 minutes. He said the same thing. And he repeated it again. The same thing, we got to go to the phone line. You say you said the same thing. You made the same allegation
now
for
the
30 minutes.
come up. The ruling
I will give you your
government now,
time. I will give you your
Al-Hussein,
time. Al-Hussein.
they're passing all around saying this must be the ticket. 1.5 years. Look, let me be serious. I am dead serious. It's 5 months to election, Dr. Francie. It's 5 months. If we cannot, when you see us talking like this, it doesn't mean we don't want Kumis on Opwaka. It means we're frustrated. It's 5 months. When will we print t-shirts? When will we put stickers on the car? When will we set up the campaign team? When? Everything
Mr. Falcon, I want you to be frustrated enough to tell Liberian people to vote for the best person. I don't want you to be frustrated enough to just settle for who older and who younger. Okay, I want you to be frustrated enough so that we can tell Liberian people that Mr. Cummings is the best person to lead Liberia right now, to get us out of the junk that you talk about every single day.
This is not a factory. This is not Coca-Cola. This is a country. We are talking about human being. What Mr. Cummings knows.
And who do you think Mr. Cummings work with? Who do you think drink Coca-Cola?
Dr. Richardson, hold on 1 minute.
That's
Let him finish. Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, let him finish. Let him finish what comes to you. Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson. Hold on. Dr. Richardson, hold on. I beg you guys. We're going to start the show right now. And the first topic for today is this JMB and Cummings collaboration. Everybody will have the 1 minute, but we ask, please do not interrupt. We got to talk about blue carbon. We got to talk about what is happening on the street, the bread and butter issue. And we got to talk about RIA as well. So let's start the show right now, folks. Welcome to the Spoon Talk, your program, your public radio. Thank you for getting close to your radio station. And thank you for listening to Spoon. If I'm going to speak, please watch the time. You're going to have 1 minute. Al-Hussein, Dr. Richardson, we'll go to the phone line. Fagon, your 1 minute begin, please.
The Liberian people drew a sharp and simplistic contrast between the two candidates. This man knows how to manage products and corporation. This man has been managing a country. This man knows the international community, and this man knows the scene. This man can tell you about products and tell you about profits. This man can tell you about the social contract and people. This man worked in a developed society, already established. This man has functioned in our underdeveloped society and a society that has given us problems forever. Looking at the two combinations, there is no comparison. Liberia is not a Coca-Cola or a corporation. Liberia is a country. There's a difference between a corporation and a country. And one man has an experience managing a country. The other one has an experience managing a corporation. The position that both men are vying for happens to be a country. How can you take a corporation manager over a man that has managed the country? If you were the boss, would you hire the man that managed the corporation or the man that managed the country if you're looking for a manager of a country?
Thank you, Fagon. I'll stop you.
I am the
Fagon. I'll stop you on exact 1 minute because we got to move to the phone line. Al-Hussein, you go your 1 minute start. Al-Hussein, make your case.
Yeah. Using Fagon logic. In a perfect world, this wouldn't even be an argument. In a perfect world, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But we're talking about Liberia. That we just think it's a trash, so everything should go. Let me tell you something. By us calling for opposition unity, it shouldn't be construed as Cummings being weak or him being less competent. Cummings is one of the best, in fact, if not the best. What we are talking about here, we are talking about individual. Had it not been for Liberia, like I said, in a perfect world, we wouldn't be having a conversation. We have a man that have been tested. We have a government that's cornered opportunities. By us calling for opposition unity doesn't mean that we have turned a blind eye to those things. We have a government that have a history. The history is clear and fresh in our minds. We know how many millionaires and billionaires they made out of that country and they all ran away. We know how this government came to power. They are part and parcel of why we are here and trying to fight this thing to keep it. So by us putting aside our differences, swallowing the bitter pills in the interest of the Liberian people should not be construed as us being desperate. It should be construed as us putting ourselves and looking at the bigger picture, taking a higher role. The CPP have shown that they can win in election. That's the only way. But if we have to separate, which is also possible, we, the good guys, want to keep fighting for the soul and the hearts of our people. That young woman that cannot speak for themselves, Everybody know the CDC cannot tell the Liberian people anything else. We already know what the CDC can offer. The pro agenda has failed. The UPPAPD, poverty development strategy on American failed. We all know this corner opportunity, but the reason why we refuse to bring this discourse because it takes us away from the bigger prize, which is Georgia. It takes us away from the real fight. Fighting and trying to remove this a bunch of ineptitude from out of our country. That is what. So some of us try not to indulge in this conversation, but if it have to be the look, me.
Thank you, Al Hussein. Thank you very much. Let's move to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson.
So a lot of times people forget that there are a lot of similarities between a corporation and a country. Okay, and when we look at leaders of a corporation and a country, we look at the characteristics of the person. All right, we don't just look at these two entities. Then the similarity is there's people. There's people that Mr. Cummings managed. There are people in Liberia. And when he managed those people, he made the system a better system, an income generator system, something that we need in Liberia. He connected with people. You took a social contract. You say you want to give our father, Joseph Boakai, the characteristic of somebody who managed the social contract of Liberians. I agree. But we are in 2023. When you manage social contracts of Liberia, that woman who's in the hospital right now will not be a hostage to in JFK. There will be system put in place where her bills will be paid and she'll be able to go home. There'll be a welfare social welfare system put in place. That child who is going between cars to sell chewing gum, somebody who cares about a social contract system, who's been in a system for 40 years, 12 years, there would have been some kind of conversation or some kind of system or some kind of advocacy law that we can track back to. But we don't have none of that. Somebody who cares about a social contract system, as you said, that Honorable Boakai did, the market people won't still be struggling to sell their goods. He talked about bringing farm to market. I'm still struggling every time I go to Liberia to ask the people who sell their markets what programs, policy that this social contract person that Mr. Fagon wants to tell us is this great social contrast character. I cannot see it. I don't find it. But we are not going to separate a corporation from a country. There's a lot of similarities. The similarities is they manage people, they manage system, they manage policies. And
thank you very much, Dr. Richardson.
And a corporation goal is to make money and is profit making, and we need that in Liberia right now. We have an economy that we have to take loans all the time to generate.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. We got to respect the 1 minute we are backing you. I want you guys, Dr. Richardson, please, everybody just took 1 minute. Everybody took 1 minute. I want you guys, Dr. Richardson, stop now. Dr. Richardson, stop now. Stop.
Let me just finish my thought. Okay? Yes. Mr. Cummings has the ability to generate funds. We have a country right now that is relying on getting loans all the time. Our current government is begging all around the country for loans. He wants to put in simple ideas like wasteful spending. Okay, getting rid of wasteful spending in our country so we can generate money. Not hiring people according to partisan to balloon our economy. So yes, this whole social contract, Mr. Cummings is the best social contract character.
It must be that way. I tell you.
Of course.
I tell you. I want making the change going fast.
So let's just understand something. You guys have another 5 minutes before we go to the phone line. You guys can ask each other questions if you like, or throw your point of fact. Do you have questions for Dr. Richardson and Al Hussein?
Yeah.
Real quick, not an explanation, real quick.
Yeah, you said question, no explanation.
Yeah.
Why now? Why do you guys see so suddenly that the cries the Liberian people have given, please, 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 you fought. This is the 11th hour. Why now? Why all of a sudden you believe in this ticket? It's my question. I don't want to explain. Why?
The question is not going to Dr. Richardson because Dr. Richardson, she doesn't want a ticket. So you're talking to Al Hussein.
So I'm
That
Okay.
asking
train
you,
left the station. That's the train that left the station for me.
Let me say. You say
why all of a sudden, and I don't want it long, but you
what do
believe
you
now.
mean by why now? You make it sound like the
Hey, man, let
CPP
me
is
ask the
begging to
question.
be
You
vice
answer the
president.
question.
But I want you to answer the.
You
rephrase
now
that
believe
question.
for almost 4 days that this is the ticket. I'm not questioning your belief because that would be naivety at the exponential level on my part. I'm asking you, why so suddenly now?
Why? I'm not understanding why now. Why now? Be explicit.
Because all along the position has been this man is not running for VP. This man is not running for VP. In the 11th hour, 5 months to election, we are forming a team and putting players on the field. You can't say put a player there.
No,
Give it
the
to-
first thing, don't get it wrong. Don't send the first thing. The question is misplaced. When you
Okay.
say why now, you are insinuating that somebody is begging to run as VP to nobody.
That's why I'm insinuating.
Mr.
Don't say
Comey has been
insinuating.
very explicit. Mr. Chairman Bellity was very explicit yesterday.
Mhm.
He even told Chairman Ambassador Ballot to retract his letter and change the wordings. So you see, you got to be very careful how you send out information there because you are putting on misinformation.
I ask you a question. You say I'm putting on misinformation.
The CPP is not begging to be vice president. We are speaking. I don't know what you are understanding. What
But
we,
I didn't ask you that. I said why
in the
now?
CPP? What we, the Liberian people, I said I'm not an official of the CPP. What the Liberian people are saying is that the surest way to defeat George Weah is opposition unity. That is not the same as why now and why you want to go. We can still fight George Weah by not even joining together.
Fagon, don't say nothing, I beg you. Fagon, I beg you. Let me understand something from you.
Why are the
Can I
Liberian
ask you a question?
Huh?
Can I ask you a question, my brother, please? I have Uncle Pete. He want to call in. A lot of folks want to call in now. But the Liberians themselves asking the question, though. When Dr. Richardson started the show today, and I would talk about my sister here tonight, she said, well, less than 50 people. Fagon. She said less than 50. She condemned those that turned out. Dr. Richardson is like so many CPP partisans that just cannot accept the fact that Mr. Comey should be running second to Joseph Yema
I want to
Boakai.
clarify.
So I know you clarify, Mama, but let me finish my point now. I know you will come in. Why cry more than the bereaved? Fadika. Why cry more than the bereaved? And we are here to ask the question, why now? But hold on now, Fadika. It is important to know. Everybody been on the show. Some people say, when I call for Mr. Cummings on a Saturday morning, 11 a.m., to take a walk to Joseph Yema Boakai house, for them to sit down and drink tea together, somebody was on the show and said, oh, the dead body will not happen. We got that clip. When I call and said, because Joseph Boakai is the head of the state man, pick up the phone. Somebody says, Stanton, are you crazy? Mr. Cummings must be president. Mr. Cummings will be president. And only thing Mr. Cummings can take right now is president. Not representative, not senator, not speaker, not pro tem, not minister, not director, but only president God created him for. That's it in Liberia. So when Fagon said, why now? With JMB get but 2 weeks, 10 days to make his announcement. John Balu said, that's the proposal. You say you crazy? Why are you giving us that proposal? That's why I told John Balu. The message I will go to CPP headquarters. I will present my petition. Musa Belete said, we would like to get in front of you if you can. We don't need you. You're from UP. So it begs the question, what radio you want? So we'll open the phone line. Dama, come on the show.
No, you
Dama, come on the
I want
show.
to clarify.
We will open the phone line. Dr. You will clarify.
I will clarify.
Hold on 1 minute. We will come on the show.
Let me clarify exactly
Dama,
what I meant.
Snanger,
I'm dying.
Dama and Snanger, open the phone line. Let's take the first 5 calls, and Dr. Richardson will come in immediately after the 5 call. My fellow Liberian, why now? If you have answer to that, Just answer it, because this 10 days to come. In 10 days.
Well, Cummings entered this race to win.
In 10 days.
Cummings can still
Joseph
win.
Yima Boakai must be making his announcement.
So
You
it's
have
not about
365
him not being
days
able to win.
to make this thing happen. When Fagon say, why now you get vexed?
No, you shouldn't be asking all that question. It's a Liberian
I'm
people.
begging you, open the phone line.
The question
let's
should
go
go
to
back
the
to Fago.
Liberian
Why
people.
now? You know what?
Open the phone line.
Why?
No,
why
the
now?
Go ahead,
Why
Dama.
now? You
Guys,
should put,
guys. Dama,
Balu
open the phone line.
to
Open the
be
phone
going
line.
to sign petition. Why now?
Go ahead, Dama.
The numbers to call 0777
Enjoy the show, Tama.
0510101075.
And the
Those
first time the
are
man
the
I said that in the
numbers
studio, he go nowhere.
to call. All right.
Jackie.
So the numbers
It's
again:
so sweet.
0777-1075, 0555-101075.
I got Uncle Pete, Dama. Let me take this one
Hello?
from Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete, go ahead.
Okay.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Uncle Pete, you live. Talk to us.
Yeah, Eugene Fagon, I want to tell you this. Cordiality plays an important role in such a discussion where information is being disseminated to Liberians and other foreigners around the world. You cannot afford to always be monopolizing the show. You are always monopolizing the show, and it's very, very unbecoming and unprofessional. Let me just say this to the Liberian people. Alexander Cummings is the best for Liberia now to be president of the Republic of Liberia. 90% of the people who are behind Joseph Boakai right now, they are not in the interest of Boakai, but their own personal interests. Joseph Boakai cannot accelerate himself from the 12 years of corruption with Ellen Johnson's government. He was vice president to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and party that Uncle Pete and others rule. He was president of the Senate. He's responsible for a lot of the things that are happening now in Liberia. I will not support Alexander Cummings going as vice president to Joseph Boakai. I will support Alexander Cummings going as president for the Republic of Liberia because I feel he's the best person now for that country.
Absolutely.
We have tried.
Thank you, Uncle Pete. We got to move on. I know we will call you back. Uncle Pete will call you back. Thank you very much.
see
Well,
why
Uncle
he
Pete
keep
said
attacking me.
he will not support this suggestion. He doesn't want it. He's moving forward with ABC being president. Dama,
Move
you
forward.
take it away, Dama. Take it away, Dama.
All right, folks. Now let's take this person here. Hello.
Yes, how are you?
Fine. Kindly reduce the volume of your radio set, sir. Please do that.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
I'm Pastor Sokno.
You're welcome, sir. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Tonight, I want all of us in the country to know that the issue of the October 10 election is not about Kume and Boakai. The whole election is about what? George Weah and Mr. Boakai. So, under the discussion tonight, to start to simplify things to Kume and Boakai, I don't think right now is necessary. The Kume problem was there, Joseph Boakai one day finish. Let them go where they want to go. Joseph and Kume don't want to go once again. Finish where you want to go. But I don't want to be a special what Joseph Boakai has done, what Kume has done.
Thank you.
Kume is about 5 years in this country and 1 year also done to this country.
Hold on 1 minute. Thank you very much, Dama. Let's take another one. We got to take this course quickly. Isaac, your name? Where you calling from? What's your full name?
My full name is Isaac Tucker, and I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Talk to us. You live.
Yeah, firstly, I wanted to dispel the rumor that corporations and managing a country are their similarities. There are vast differences. Number two, I would say Joseph Boakai is a better leader because, number one, Boakai is managing factions, while Cummings, people are gravitating to him as the new guy on the block. He's failing miserably with it. Let's look at Costa. Costa said bad things about Boakai, but here still, in the last election, Boakai brought him in without any malice. Take a look at Musa Belete. Because Fagon said something about him yesterday on the show, I don't want to talk about this. Managing people is quite different managing a corporation.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry the line is so busy. I said we gotta go, but wait for the second round. Of course, you can call back, please. Let me take this one real quick, Damo. It's important. Nelson Freeman, where are you calling from, Nelson?
I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Talk to us, Nelson. We gotta go back to Liberia real quick. Talk to us.
Okay, I just want to speak to the idea of JMB and Cummings ticket. I'm not in favor of it. First of all, if you guys proclaim that, profess that the Liberian people are in favor of it, why don't the Liberian people just go and vote against George Weah? And then if Cummings and Mr. Walker go to the runoff, they can vote for who they want. It's just simple thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Freeman. Thank you. We appreciate your call. Slanger, go ahead. Talk to us, Damo.
Hello. Okay, lost that person there. 0777-77-1075, 0555-101075. Hello. Kindly reduce the volume of your radio set, sir. The feedback is terrible. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good evening to the people of Liberia. This is Patrick Mane. I'm calling you from Monrovia, to be specific, Lapasi community. You know, this country, there is a reason why God chose Weah. Because people who come to be educated, they are not exemplary those qualities of being educated. Now, the confusion that is among the opposition, it tells you that President Weah is destined to serve a second term. And that's why that confusion continues to persist among the opposition.
So the confusion amongst the opposition is a divine confusion?
Pardon?
Is it divine? Is it something supernatural that is happening, the confusion in the opposition camp? Is that what you're saying?
I'm telling you something straight. Tonight,
okay.
I haven't called on your program.
All right.
But I'm telling you something. Like yesterday, you saw how the entire Liberia look. It tells you that something is happening in this country.
Okay, sir.
That God is not.
Thank you very much. We have taken 5. We have taken 6 calls. We're going to move on. Damo, we'll call you back. Thank you. We got to move on, Damo. We'll call you back, okay? Folks, we're just asking to take 5, but we took 6. So we will be moving on to our next conversation. I know we'll come back to the Cummings and JMB conversation. It's good for the soul because this is what some people are
I'd like
asking
to make
for.
a clarification.
Dr. Richardson, I'm coming to you, Mama.
Thank you.
And then we'll move on to the next conversation. Talk to us, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. When Senator Balu was here, I was under the impression that there was thousands, millions of Liberians who were in contact with him about having a Buckeye Cummings ticket, and that's the impression I was under. And so today, I was looking forward to millions and millions or thousands and thousands of people marching the streets of Philadelphia, the streets of Monrovia, to see them give this petition. But to my surprise, I counted almost just 50 persons. Yes, he is a Liberian citizen, and he has all rights to petition and tell Mr. Cummings or Mr. Buckeye what he expects of them. But I think I was under the impression that there were more Liberians than that who had this petition to submit to Mr. Cummings. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. So let's move to the next thing. Fagon, today you came up with a conversation about the blue carbon, but before we get to the blue carbon, I want us to play a certain video that I asked. Maybe Damo, you can come back on. Surprisingly to me today, this is life. This is about the bread and butter issue in Liberia. The children, the Liberian children, Dr. Richardson, this is where you come in when we talk about election. The Liberian youth, something strange is happening, and this is not normal. I want us to address it. We address blue carbon. We address the Rabat International Airport. And then we'll go back to the phone line. James, can you play the video? Give the Liberian chance to watch this. Cummings, Joseph Yema Bwaka, Tewan Gonglo. Whoever running to be president, they need to step.
Okay, so welcome. Your name? Okay, we see you selling here. Is in the afternoon hours. Tell us, what do you sell here?
I sell small monkey in bars, winter fresh, take and eat,
This is one of the dangerous, way of selling. That is between cars. To sell between cars is one of those dangerous means of, looking for your ends meet. What is actually pushing you to do this? Why are you?
No support now. All my people in the interior now. So I really have myself.
All people in the interior?
Yes.
That's why you're selling. Are you in school?
Yes.
Which of the?
I'm in school. Next year now.
For now, you're not in school.
Yes.
Which class are you in?
10th grade.
You stop in 10th grade or you promoted to 10th grade? Which one?
I started in 10th grade.
You stopped in 10th grade?
Yes.
So did you drop out of school or you got promotion? You completed the entire year?
Yes.
So that means if you were to go to school, you would have been in 11th grade this year?
Yes.
But you are not in school?
Yes.
Why is it so?
No support now.
So one listening to you would say, what do you do with the money when you sell? Is not enough or what?
I pay for rent.
Oh, you paying your rent?
Yeah. I rent on my own. What's your age? I'm 22.
22. And you are in 10th grade?
Yes.
So those listening to you, what you want them to do for you? If they were to, maybe they want to help, improve the business also.
What now? They want.
We're going to come back to that for a little bit because it is interesting. 22 years old in 10th grade. Parents in the interior. We are going to election. And we want to talk about the bread and butter issue. We need to open Liberian eyes to this. Dr. Rich is saying, you're a professor. The young man, he dropped out of school. He hustling. He's selling bread, scratch card, cold water. President George Manneh, we are promising Liberian people hope for change. We can sit here and laugh and joke. But yeah, we talking about October 10th election. George Manneh, we are Jose Yema Boaka, Alexander Cummings, and the rest. You have the time to speak, Dr. Richardson. Looking at that video, watching it.
It saddens me, Stanton, every time I see Liberian children, our future generation, okay, selling goods between cars, trying to make a living. And, someone can say, oh, this has been in Liberia for years. But, it's time for us to move forward. This is why we elected our president, George Weah, who said he was going to bring change to the country. Now, we know that our country, we didn't expect it to change overnight on day one. But we expected him to at least say, I'm going to develop a task force to explore why are these kids on the street selling. That's one thing you could have done. That young man just told us that my parents are in the interior. I am the primary support person for my parents. How did he get to Monrovia? He's saying to us that I stopped in the 10th grade. What happened when you're in school? We know that probably he didn't have any financial support. When you have a task force, those are the things that you'll be looking at. What contributed to the children selling the street? How can we find resolution to these problems? Okay, maybe perhaps creating some vocational center for these kids to go to, because he is overage. He's actually 22 in the 10th grade. And so we have to find a solution to how do we educate someone like who we just saw, this young man, that he will become a productive citizen for tomorrow. And this is something that our government is not paying attention to, and we don't hear nothing about. And you're right. Those kids are the spectator to our economy in our country. Those kids. And how we expect our country and our society to grow. Is this the social contract that we speak about? How did we get here?
Thank you very much.
Move forward with these kids.
Then they bring in Eugene Fagon. Eugene, let's play the other clip, which is very important. You see these young babies between cars, selling juicy fruit, winter fresh, sweet bread for 6 years. For 6 years. And I want both parties, everybody, people should listen. For 6 years, the Change for Hope. You cannot be spectators in your own country. Let's play the other video. They will bring you in, Eugene. James, can you play the other video, please?
So you start by telling your name. What's her name? Awa? What's her age? 11 years. So what are you selling? Soft drinks and water. You in school? Which school? Which hour you can count it where to sell? After school. What class are you in? Fourth grade. So you selling between a car and you can be a friend? You're not a friend. Guy you looking for? Now on the side you can say. But you're not a friend because you're looking for money. So what you can do with the money when they go to you? Oh, you're selling for your mom. She telling you too? Oh, alright. Thank you, yeah? Man, welcome. What are you selling here? Oh, winter fried steak in it. Oh, okay. Brother, we see you selling between the cars. One of the dangerous ways to sell, between the cars, but yet you still, embrace that, you sell between the cars. What is actually pushing you to do this?
I don't want to also hang with the guys,
You live by yourself? You live with your auntie? Why are your parents? Where are they? You in Tira? Oh, they're not here. Okay. So you in school? Which school? Which class are you in? Okay. Well, after school, you can come to sell. So what do you do with the money now? When you generate money like that, you put in susu or you can just use the money to just farm resell also.
Fagon, before we move on to the rest of the conversation, these are some of the clips when the guys went on the beat, they brought to the network. Talk to us, Fagon. What are you seeing? 11-year-old, she's in 4th grade. 11-year-old would be in 6th grade, getting ready to go to 7th grade. 11-year-old selling cold water and everything. Somebody selling juicy fruit, mint. Fagon, have this government failed the Liberian children, failed the Liberian people? Let's just be serious and discuss the issue, the bread and butter issue of Liberia.
Having served in this government once, I have not minced my words when it comes to these kinds of issues. This is child abuse. This is human rights abuse. And this shows not only a corrupt government, but a government that is insensitive to the plight of its people. Let us give you common examples. you are waiving 5 persons, 5 Liberian citizens, sit at a table with a multi-billion-dollar company and waive $14 million. Told the company, this is our money, you can have it. But yeah, you got a guy selling stick candy and chewing gum just to eat and maybe find something to buy his pamphlet at school. An impoverished nation like Liberia will give $30 million as stimulus package for its citizens, and the money evaporates in thin air. In order to subsidize the parents of those people, this government will contribute $11 million to reduce the price of rice, thereby reducing the hardship on the parents of those children. Instead, the $11 million will be used to further increase the price of the staple food and send the parents lurking and pushing them into the streets, as well as their kids, to fend for themselves. There was something in that video that you maybe did not take note of. There were several blind persons consistently or continuously crossing the street, being hauled around by little children ages 7 to 9. Those children should be in school. Those people should be at the center. But we're not constructing buildings that will house our less fortunate brothers and sisters. As of today, since this government took power, the group of 77 is still there. No renovation, nothing. The thing when you build the football field and put synthetic carpet that you and I know you can buy from right in Home Depot. You have seen it there. You have used it on your wooden porch. You're probably using it in your yard, around your grill. That somehow everyone is supposed to shout. But what I saw and what I'm seeing in the video is not only disturbing, but it speaks to the insensitivity of the government. Look at the amount of people standing. If you watch the video, look at the amount of people among the cars. Just look at them. It's like people are fighting for survival. And here we are today, government indebted to the people have not paid for 3 months. Some contractors have not taken pay for 6 months. So how are they supposed to survive when the price of a bag of rice now is $20? So I see the children, but what I see more so is an insensitive government that have led people to struggle for survival. It is the fight now for survival. It's not about human rights abuse. It's not about child abuse. It is now about survival, which is all wrong.
Hassan, the clip will be shared in the chat room. It's a lot of them. And Fagon, you're right. A lot of blind people being carried away by babies throughout the street. We pray that God can help them. But Hassan, this is terrible for our country. We are marching towards election, and something is just repeating itself.
You see, when you go to Liberia, you see that, and this is not only unique to Liberia, but that doesn't mean it should happen in Liberia. An American philosopher once said that those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. What we are seeing is an age-old problem. And that speaks to everything that we have been saying on this platform. And every time we come on this radio, that is why one of the reasons I even joined Spoon, so that I can lend my voice to this process. As we go to the polls, everything is on the ballot. The solution to this problem is on the ballot. And the reason why we are kind of conciliatory and kind of trying to look at the bigger picture and calling for unity and all this thing, because the surest way to get this thing resolved is to win. You can have all the bright ideas, but it will not come to fruition if you cannot have a seat on the table. What we are suggesting, some of you have been suffering, is that this is an age-old problem that we are suggesting that former and current caretaker to resolve. Those that served in the past and how to put the everything in place to put a checkpoint to this problem that failed. We had 12 years. to resolve this. Honor a female, that happened. We have another 6 years. Honor a man that came from Gibraltar, rose from the dungeon of poverty, defy all odds, only to come back and be the same. And these are the same age old caretaker that we want to solve this problem. That is why we are proposing that we cross-fertilize idea, bring diverse people from different walks of life, different experience, to come together and engineer a solution to this problem. So do we have a solution? Yes. Are we going to have a final solution with some of the solutions that you are proposing? No, because it has turned into change versus chance. And the easier way in Liberian politics is to give people the chance to repeat what the old people and the current people are doing. And that's all I can say. I mean, there's a solution. We know the solution, but is it going to happen? It's not going to happen. It will keep doing the same thing and making the same mistake, electing the same people. We have to.
And that's why, I'm sorry, Allison. That's why we're showing the clip, because again, the people need to understand. You have 11 years of between cars. You have 9 years of between cars. They are hustling. Their parents send them out there to sell stuff for them to have the daily bread, find something to eat. The safety issue is not there no more. Cars, motorbike, everything, keke running up and down. The children standing in the middle of the street. Let's just show you one more time. Let every Liberian see. If you have your time to travel to the So I have a question though, and maybe somebody can help me. Why the government sitting there looking at these kids and people selling between cars? There's no, with the Liberian National Police, the safety issue. I mean, have we forgotten something like that? Fagon, you serve as deputy minister at the information ministry. I mean, is this common? Is this normal that it should happen? And when there's accident, then we wonder why?
Well, I must be frank with you. I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, yes, they sit there for the most part and watch it happen. Are they supposed to watch it happen? No, absolutely not. But it's a situation where you are caught between the rock and the hard place. Now, your government have not paid people for 3 months. They put Baba McKinney in a box and try to make an extra buck to go and eat. You really want to whip them and waste their candy? You and I must agree that it's wrong. They must take the action. But you have conscience as an officer. You're looking at them. You're looking at the safety issue. You're concerned about it. You want to do something about it. But it is one of those fine and gray areas where you're looking at them like, if I arrest that one today, how will they eat? If I take that child from the street, like I shoot, how many more up the hill there? Before we can go there to raid Asa, Douala Market, they're there. Freeport, they're there. Red Light, they're there. Congo Town, they're there in front of the ministerial complex. SKD Boulevard Junction, Congo Town, they are there. Iedabie Junction, they are there. Broad Street, they're there. They're all over the place. And you are overwhelmed by the magnitude of this situation. But again, you are caught between the rock and the hard place. This government, as I said, waived $14 million. But you have the people now hustling for $1 just to feed a family of 6. Do you beat the poor people now that are hustling for that $1 and take away the next meal in the name of safety? How safe are they without food? Hunger kills. Hunger makes people malnourished. Hunger leads to you contracting diseases, sicknesses. And
so that brings us to our conversation, Fagon. And I know that welcome to the show, Retired Corner E. Rami Gray. That brings us to our conversation. You are very strong on this one, Al Hussein, the blue carbon. We want to show some pictures first. After we show the picture, I want us to talk it because the people selling everything, getting all the fast money, the 50 billion contract that was signed, 50 billion. Somebody about to get Liberia 50 billion. If you want to believe that story about blue carbon. And then, folks, we'll go back to the Alexander Cummings and JMB, But let's talk about this thing. You remember this picture? You remember if I go on? You guys remember this? You remember Samuel Twist sitting with, and President George we are sitting with somebody discussing and trying to sign that contract with the blue carbon. You remember? Look at Liberia. Great nation. Great, very great. But Liberia need to understand why the government is chasing this blue carbon. Liberia is to benefit from the United Arab Emirates US 50 billion blue carbon initiative as a result of the visit of President George Manawiya to that Gulf state. 50 billion. It was signed upon. Folks signed it. Agriculture Minister signed on it. You know her, Madam Jenny. Justice Minister Musa Dean. Environmental, Wilson Tappet. C. McDonough, Forestry. Samuel Twett, Finance. But if you look at the signature and the date, Samuel Twett decided to go 1 year back and say March 25th, 2022. He went 1 year back. While the people were signing March 25th, 2023, Samuel Twett said, I'm going to reverse this thing because we need the money now. It was signed. We have the document. Folks, let's be serious for once. 50 billion. The Blue Carbon Initiative. Somebody sitting somewhere and say, but what's this? Al Hussein, you remember this when you talk about carbon credit. Carbon credit, they're about to sell something out of Liberia, selling carbon credit. That's what the government went into. And that's what we all should sit down and think about. Let me bring you on, guys. Let Liberia hear from you today. Rami Gray, thank you for joining us. We allowed Dr. Richardson to start on this first. We'll do the roundtable. $50 billion. We now know the government has signed. The information, I think, is in the chat room. We got a full MOU, that which was signed upon. Talk to us, man. What are we receiving each other as a Liberia, Dr. Richardson?
Well, so to understand this, as you rightfully said, countries in the developed world gather carbon footprint. That's what we call it. It's because of automobile use or because of the increase in factories in these countries. And so the community of the developed world came together and said, we're going to give people, credit, other countries credit, who have a lower emission of carbon footprint in the air. And so this is what has happened. Our country tends to have a, rich forest background where our carbon footprint tends to be low because we're not emitting, dirty air, carbon in the air that will pollute the environment. And so now we see our government is capitalizing by signing contracts with other countries, but not giving us the full detail of what is in this contract for the Liberian people, for the forest. How are they going to go about implementing this contract? How Liberian people, the different communities, are going to benefit from them signing these contracts? So that's my question. So it goes back to say, when we get this money, here it is. You show us, you before we started the program, you show us a problem that exists in Liberia, the problem of our students selling between cars. We know there's parenting problem over there. We know there's a problem with like social work being in there. We know there's laws that needs to come into place to say students need to be in school at a certain time. So there's all these problems that we have that all it would take a competent government. Okay, what did it suggesting to me that this government is either don't care about the future generation, because of course, if we don't take care of this generation, they will be destroyed. Okay, or they're incompetent. They don't know what to do. This is a symptom. You need a task force to ask why. Why do we have all of these riches that we can gather from this carbon deal that is supposed to be signed? Why can't we apply the money that we get to solve some of our social problems for our next generation? So that is not happening in our country. And yeah, again, Mr. Falcon said we are erasing money from contracts, giving free ride to these contracts that come into our country, when we could be using it on our own population instead of having a destructive future for our next generation. And so that's my experience, my thought about this whole carbon footprint deal.
Who's next? Well, since Remy Gray is just coming, Connor, welcome. I think you should give us your thoughts.
Hopefully I'm being heard.
Yes, you are.
All right. Fundamentally, we continue to say what we lack in our country is an effective asset manager. One of the reasons why we continue to say one presidential candidate brings a wealth of experience in managing assets. You see, we manage our country's asset for almost 200 years badly, and we continue to do so. And all the managers that are showing up for the job don't have experience in that area, managing assets. There's no way savvy asset manager will sit down at the table and begin to compromise our greenhouse, our atmosphere. Liberia, if you go there, sometimes you'll be surprised how very stilt and very unhealthy our air is. If you go to Liberia, you can easily develop allergy as opposed to other places. The country is already that way, and we don't have any industrialized sector booming. It's that way. So that's that air that is the little one that is there. That's the one people have already made arrangement to sell. Does that benefit the common man already that is struggling? I think we have a group of hustlers in office who are trying to sell anything they can sell. You know how we used to say back when the war came, people would they sell down to the window. They sell everything. And then when it starts raining, even the zinc up there, they sell it. Then it's raining, then they look for plastic and cover it on top. Eventually, this is going to be the plastic will cover it on top of our future. Only one person in this, among the milieu of candidates running, that can really sit on the table and negotiate for your money. One thing you can credit somebody like President Trump for. He was a good negotiator when he sits on the table. He said people are taking our stuff free. In Liberia right now, all the folks who are pretending to be the Samuel Toy and all of this, those people are dummies. Otherwise, you not even endear around this particular issue called carbon. Because you know what? You're not going to get 50 billion. Firstly, they sold it that way. You're not going to get 50 billion. Now with this kind of unsavvy group of people we have there. And I'll not pivot back to the discussion that was there prior. I listen. But when Liberians are going to the polls, they must always remember that the most savvy businessmen, because Liberia, you can take it as a piece of asset that should have been managed effectively so that people can stop selling water around their cars. There's no way why a child would drop from 10th grade just to go feed the family. In a functional society, that don't happen. It's because of the managers who continue to elect and bring forward, and the country would be that way. especially for folks who have told you that they mismanage, opportunity squander. They already gave you their profile. If you are Stanton, you are hiring group of people. One of those managers came forward and said, "I squander my last company I worked for. I squander the asset there, and we lost." I don't know if you're an HR person if you want to elect that kind of person. Unlike the one who say, "I manage a company, a business, an asset. I took it from 70 billion. Now we're 270 billion." That's a good resume. I rest.
Thank you, Irami Great. Thank you very much. I mean, you make a good last point. Liberian people are going to decide on that. You know, folks, we have a video that should be up, but apparently James didn't set it up with this blue carbon. We make a beautiful video. And I think that I want us to really discuss this blue carbon thing in details. We got 9 more minutes to go to the phone line. And I just believe, just be quick and set your space because we have to talk about the RIA and something too. But again, I really wanted to have that video play, but James is killing me tonight. Irami Gray, now Irami Hussein, talk to us about blue carbon before we go to Fagon.
Well, Blue Carbon. Well, Blue Carbon is the company, the fake company, actually that the government is calling how they call the UAE government. When you read that article, you actually follow it. Blue Carbon is actually a company, and like that.
A fake company. Is it a fake company or is it a real company?
No, it's not a fake company. It's not the government. It's not the UAE government. I have no a way to know that it's a fake or not. But it's not the UAE government. It's actually a private company owned by one of the Saudi princes. So, but why is this important? Most time people keep talking about carbon credit. First, we want to know what is carbon credit and why it is important. You see, sometimes they call it carbon offset. So, back in 2006, during the COP 2026, group of smart people, Americans, the Europeans in Glasgow, the Climate Change Summit, that was actually in November 2021. They agreed to create a global carbon credit offset trading market. So this market is simple, and Doug readily put it. Carbon credit companies, the countries that are countries that emit more greenhouse gas. So it's called cap, and they use something called a cap and trade. And the reason why I'm throwing this thing, I want you to look at it, Google it, put it on your microscope and do something, because in this information these are things that you want to check out. So carbon credit, or also known as carbon offset, allow UNO to emit certain amount of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas. So that means if John got this company, you can emit 20 million. It's not only company, it's not only government, institution, private company, the Amazon. You can emit this much of carbon or greenhouse gas in the air. And if you finish, if you have exhausted that, what do? You go to countries that are not emitting, you say, you know what, we'll purchase your carbon credit and use it because they want to cap the amount of greenhouse gas that we can pollute in order to avoid climate change. So they want to cap it at a certain level. So because everybody not polluting, those that are not polluting, the country like ours, that are not developed nation right now, or not industrial nation right now, they come to us and borrow it. But here's the downside, just to make this short. Here's the downside. This is a booming market. You must first want to check, because even in Liberia have internet, the price for this on the market right now. The price is moving exponentially. It is growing so fast. So imagine we sell our carbon credit right now for $50 million. 5-10 years from now, Mr. Cummings become president, and all the factories are coming in Liberia, and we start to build cars like the Rwanda and other things and polluting. How will we be able to? Because the reason people use that credit, one of the things that the credit does is it provides a monetary incentive to companies. So it costs you less money to produce than if you still emit, but it costs you less money if you have enough carbon offset. So imagine we sell all of this. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we want to start getting into the industrial war. How will the future generation, these guys will all be dead and gone. How will we be able to do this thing? Because we probably have to pay 2 to 3 times more than what they are going to pay right now for our carbon credit. That is the problem. So in a sense, they are kind of selling away our future. This is going to be bigger than Bitcoin. I was reading another article. This is going to be bigger than Bitcoin and all those different online currencies. So is it a good thing? This is a careful strategy, and I don't know why they keep tapping. 1 minute the guys want to mineral swap and set up our mineral, then now they're doing this thing while the Liberian people are not paying attention. And we need to pay attention.
Thank you, Hussein. Thank you very much. I mean, you researched this thing real good, and I admire and appreciate the information you sent me. Fagon, take us home with this blue carbon stuff. I know we have time to discuss further. Are we getting $50 billion from the UAE? Are we getting money? Are we selling the country sold to the devil and later regret? I mean, where are we with the 50 billion? And Samuel Twice signing on it, Musa Dean, Jenin Cooper, C. McDonough, Wilson Tappet, all these guys decided to sign on it. We got a signature, we got a document. They decided to run with everything they can, because they get 50 billion. There you go on the 25th of March 2023. Samuel Twice says 2022. That wasn't right. That was a lie. But all the signature is on this document. So Fagon, talk to us, please.
I want to leave the capturing of carbon. I have contacted a Liberian. I wish you would have shown the date on that article. The date President Mohammed pledged 50 billion to address climate change across the world. It's it's the 2022. If you look on the article there, you will see it. I want the Liberians to know that this money these people talking about was pledged ever since in 2022 globally. And I think after the president watched the video, he decided to change the tune to say Liberia needs to tap into that fund, because in 2023, COP28 will be hosted by the UAE. And the Blue Carbon Company was just a company that those guys decided to mango, as you can see from the common mistake they made. What will interest you is this. I will be very honest with the Liberian people, and I'll tell them a personal story in less than 30 seconds. When we took over government in 2018, there were so many different groups of people coming, okay? So many different groups of people. You see below there where you see the national, under the guy Ebo, the last part of the page, that's June 17, 2022, when that pledge was made by President Sheikh Mohammed. That's the evidence right there that they did not sign anything. It's $50 billion for the whole world, not Liberia. Now, as in government, Stanton, when we enter government, I just saw all kinds of people, my dear brother, coming to me. Oh, we got this project. We need to do this. All we need is an MOU. And I will speak Liberian English so people can understand it. At that time, 95% of our government was green. When I say green, it means we were not open to these things. These people will come and say to you, oh, we got this company. They're supposed to do this. All we need is a memorandum of understanding, and we can see the president or the minister of state. The only reason why they wanted the MOU, if you go back to Blue Carbon itself does not have the money. They too want to tap into the money. But in order to go, like Al Hussein said, to be able to purchase the credit, they need financier that will help them purchase the credit. Then they can take the credit and say, look, this is what we got in Liberia, West Africa. See how green and rich it is. In order to get that money from the financiers, they want to see a memorandum of understanding before they put their money there. You can't just come to a bank or a financier and say, oh, we got this green. No. Have you met the
So
government?
let's read this thing. You are right, because selling carbon credit, if you look on the right-hand side, they say we match your carbon credits with the right buyers at the right price.
Yeah.
Okay? Through our extensive network of corporate clients
selling carbon
credit. So that's exactly what these guys try to get Liberia into. Talk to us.
So now you will not go to Stanton and say, Stanton, I need $500 million from you. At least. Stanton will say, what for? I need to go and buy the carbon credit from Liberia. It is the richest and the best on the continent. I have a memorandum of understanding. Stanton said, bring it. He look at it, he see the stamp on it, he see the seal on it, he see everything on it. It is legit. He contacts the government. The government said, yes, we have an agreement with Blue Carbon. Okay, how much you need? 500? What's the return on it? What's the dividend? What are we looking at? He said, brother, I got 500 for you. I'm capable of making up to $10 billion on this 500. What's going to be my cut? We'll give you 1.5 billion. You think he would say no? Looking at the agreement, looking at the gentleman said, I mean the MOU, no. Stanton pick up the money on Thursday. This whole thing is a BM speed. Because when you get the memorandum of understanding, you're going to get the money from the people. And once you get the money from the people, look at you, we are smiling. Look at Samuel Tuet. You will receive 500 million from financier. You think how much the poor you see setting out what I will get? You think they will be left out? You think what convinced them to sign a memorandum of understanding and get the future of the Liberian people away? They do not see the same thing with Western Cluster. 5 men sat down and waved $14 million. How much you think these people settle for before coming home? Why you think the CDC have all this money spreading it around like green leaves? This is how they operate. A memorandum of understanding, take the boys to the bank. The boys get the money, give the kickback. If it reach to the Senate, by the time they structure an agreement to get to the Senate too will eat their own, or the House will eat their own. And that's how all these things work as a witness to the government. I can tell you that. Now, is there anything in it for us? Guarantee you there's nothing in it other than tears. The Liberian people will just cry.
So is this, let me go back, because Remy Gray, probably you guys doing the Madam Salif government, y'all would better understand this. We got to go to the phone line. But you remember the Robert Salif and Noka? Fagon, is that something similar we about to see here?
Worse than that. This is worse. Because Noka, you're talking about millions, right? These guys are talking about billion. If you go to the document on the page 5 of it, at the bottom of each of those documents, page 5 of it, I want you to look at number 7, confidentiality and publicity. It's there. You will see that it says quickly, the parties to this MOU agree that each shall treat as confidential all information provided by a party to the others regarding such parties' business and operations, including without limitation. Why you're hiding the thing? Yeah, right there. Yes, that you just show that the bottom you see page 5 of 8, confidentiality and publicity. Yeah, right there. Number 7. Yeah, right there.
I think I'm going to ask James that we put this on our page. Let Liberian people see it for themselves, and they can discuss it on other network. But it is important for us to have this discussion that to Rich is saying. We went back, but Fagon saying, well, this is bigger than Robert Salif and Noka.
Yes.
But you understand, though, a Nigerian man came into the country and enriched himself. This is bigger than what is happening right now in Bombay. When the people decided to sell that little, make an MOU, an agreement, guess what happened? Somebody collected $100 million, they ran. And now we are stuck up now with this Bombay Western Cluster. Why are we still repeating these things? Al Hussein, why? Why are we still repeating this thing now? The precedent, George Manawia, negotiating for his own. This is big. This is something new that the government of America and other partners are pledging $50 billion.
That $50 billion is not.
Why
Look,
he didn't set
the
it down
reason,
with Blue Carbon Man said Al Hussein?
no,
Why is he
you
setting
know
it down
why?
with Blue Carbon Man?
But this is the future. These guys are tapping into this now. The reason why you see the UAE, look, there is a competition between China. China is a big purchaser or because they are one of the big polluter. China is heavily invested in
climate change.
carbon credits. China. Dubai is another country, or the UAE is another country that is heavily involved in it. These guys are thinking 20, 30 years old. Why would you on getting peanuts? These guys are already trying to capture the market.
And so, Dr. Richardson, can you help us understand though? Why is now this a lame duck government right now? Right now. With 5 more months to go in the election, they are lame duck. Why are they pushing this thing? Why can't they?
Because they have always engaged in being greedy and not serving the Liberian people. They are not working in the best interest of the Liberian people. These are people that came to government instead of creating programs or helping our country become a better place. They were only interested in enriching themselves. Okay, they are incompetent because they're not thinking like Ahasin said. Leaders are thinking they have a vision of the world. This is where I find my country. Where would I want my country to be? They don't even go to negotiate contracts. They're just thinking about the money, and they want to take everything that they can get right now because they don't know if they're going to stay in, they know they're going to lose anyways, the election. So they will take anything so they can pack up the country and pack up themselves and leave the country.
What you're saying, Dr. Richardson, and maybe Fagon can also come in with Remy Gray. Do you believe that by signing that MOU, they already received something? Did they receive something, Fagon? Dr. Richardson maybe may not know. By signing on that MOU, somebody pays something. Remy Gray, you think so?
I cannot accuse them. I cannot accuse them directly, but owing to my experience and the experiences of all the other actions that have been taking place, including what Snow told you on this network, there is something in Liberia called signature fee. To sign a document, there is a fee attached, unfortunately. And so you look at the document, whether you saw the signatures, right? It is synonymous to with the Western Cluster thing. 12 were on it. Lance my minister were on it. Musa Dean attested to it. You saw it. What's the difference here? The man who controlling the forest signed. The agriculture minister, because of fishery, aquaculture, the coral reef, and all that kind of stuff, she signed. And after that, because it has to do with the environmental, without doing some environmental impact assessment, Wilson Tapetu signed. The man who's going to play with the money, Samuel Tue, signed. And the man who, anything that happened, who in number 7, it says they will have all the information from us, attested to it. So did they receive something for it? While it's true, I cannot accuse them directly. There is something called signature fees.
Let me come in there.
Let me bring you in by asking you this question, though. Yeah. Your president, Liberia president, sitting down, talking about blue carbon. Samuel Tue, sitting down, talking about blue carbon.
Listening to the man.
Listening. Not understanding, I don't want to say it, but we just said nothing.
Not understanding Jack. Not understanding Jack.
Remy.
Yes.
Oh, we see Joe, we are doing that laughing at the Iron Man. You think by signing that document they received something?
Let me say this. You ever wonder why sometimes our international waterways, our sea, marine wealth has been polluted? It comes from this kinds of agreement. People get all their toxic waste. They already found somewhere where they can go and dump it. And Liberia is the bedrock for that. Somebody sold that credit. This is all about collateral. We have a place to get nitrogen, natural gas, and that is Liberia. Show me the proof. They show the proof. We've already mortgaged that aspect to people who are some of the biggest polluters of the world. What they're telling you that when they get all their waste, they have a place where they'll dump it. And that's what this is all about. That's why I say we don't have good negotiators on the table. Green gas or blue carbon, the company that probably will be handling this, is simply telling you.
Let me ask you a question.
Have the industrial waste.
Let me ask you a question. You brought something out though. Don't you think the government in itself should have gone out to a third party to vet and understand this market? Because Al Hussein was talking and get back to the government and say, this is where Liberia is right now, how much money Liberia can make, but do not sign the MOU yet though. Why the rush with that MOU? Why? And do they understand that they are losing billions of dollars?
Look, Stanton, have you forgotten that this George Weah government is very, very glued to anything they call money? Anywhere where they'll see they'll get just a little bit of money. The way they'll fall on it, they'll jump on it. I mean, they don't even have to look at the fine print. All they know, they're getting money out of this. And I can tell you, my brother, we have a country where people care less for the future. It's only about the now.
Will President Cummings cancel this deal and renegotiate?
Man, you bet those are the kind of things that'll be on the table to cancel first. Because you know what? If we don't do that, we'll not have a future. Liberia could be an industrialized country in the future. But they will cap you whenever you want to set up this factory, you want to set up this industrial plant. They'll say, no, you don't have enough green gas to accommodate this. You have to now show that I have it. So it's a collateral. You understand? It's like you have money, but you decide not to touch it because the future is there. That's what this is all about. But I can tell you when they purchase all of these things, in other words, big industrialized countries can use your collateral that when they pollute, they'll bring some of the waste.
And you are saying that President Cummings will cancel this thing the first day?
It will.
Can the Liberian people believe Conor Gray, President Cummings or Joseph Boakai? What do you think going to just delete, cancel, cross out these agreements?
I mean, I know enough to know that these things do not just go away. Where government is continuity, right? So when these things happen, that is why we need responsible people to prevent it from happening in the first place. I don't think Mr. Cummings just want to do it with a stroke of the point, but I do believe that this is not something that Mr. Cummings will want to indulge in. I don't think Mr. Cummings is the man that will want to mortgage our future just for a temporary gain. Look, the desperation of this government is one thing that you remember when the guy went to China. You remember?
I want to understand you. You don't think Mr. Cummings will cancel this?
No, I'm not saying I'm thinking that he going. I don't think he's going to indulge in it in the first place to even consider selling our.
There's an MOU on the table.
I think he's going to cancel it. But there are a lot of things.
It's just an understanding.
I understand, but there's an understanding with the Liberian government.
Yes,
but it's not being direct with the Liberian people and saying that some government is continuing to, so therefore probably.
I don't think he's going to continue on it. It's a bad.
It's going to be what is in the best interest for Liberia, and all that we have said today that deal is not in the best interest for Liberians.
But canceling things that this is not.
I can tell you what Boakai will do.
I tell you will do it.
Because what Mr. Boakai will do, or Ambassador Boakai will do, is that.
I mean, now asking me, you talk about Boakai. They asking me, come in my time.
Continue with there. You don't think what
Boakai will do? You want to talk about those 55 bar concession?
Iremi, stop. Let that house in Toba. It can't be a 3-on-1.
Bar concession. You want to talk
about? That guy is only one. Iremi, make it all blind with your associate. Did you go to the eye doctor today? Come on, man.
What I'm saying is that if you guys can remember when we went China, when we came from China, the first thing Eugene Fangon, when he was with his CDC, I think he's still undercover CDC, the guys were saying that he will have to sell the country. This guy was selling weed mounting. These guys said they would do a mineral swap. They were not even talking about, we're talking about carbon footprint. Swear is still talking about mineral swap. So maybe you're getting 6 more years. I thought they would sell the weed mounting sell all our resources to the Chinese people.
Exactly.
Because they already got it. But I don't think this is because Cummings is not Cummings is a wise man. He's a very thoughtful person. I've seen come close to him. I've heard him speak. I've talked to him. He's a very wise person. He's kind of very slow.
So we got to go.
That he's going to want to.
Let me say this to you, though. I will say this to you when it comes to Cummings, and I always say this.
So why you don't want to ask what Bwaka people would do?
No, I will ask Bwaka, but let me end with the Cummings first. I will kind of Bwaka.
Okay,
But I will say this to you, Al Hussein. I do believe 100%, Al Hussein, that Mr. Cummings, right? We can laugh, we can joke. Mr. Cummings, President of the Republic of Liberia, I will say this 100%. This nonsense will not pass on that table.
Thank you.
This crap will be destroyed. Let's speak truth to power.
But that is true.
But let me say this. People can say what they want to say about me. I keep it real with the Liberian people. They may not like Mr. Cummings now. Some may decide not to have Mr. Cummings as president now. Mr. Cummings being president, as much as I just don't like some people around him, Mr. Cummings will turn the table, he will flip it upside down, and he will prosecute to the fullest. You can see
let me just add this.
Let me finish.
No. It's
not today you're going to say Cummings. But it's something about Mr. Cummings and his pen.
You honor Kawa Cummings.
It's something about Mr. Cummings and his pen. I do believe, and Liberians should listen to this. There's a reason why CDC is afraid of Mr. Cummings today. There's a reason why. CDC just don't want to have a Cummings Bwaka ticket. There's a reason why CDC will prosecute Cummings every single day. Because if you gave Cummings the chance, I'm not saying this because I play on the show. If you gave Cummings the chance, I can guarantee you that every nonsense that running around in that country, Samuel Toa will find his way in Ivory Coast and he will never return to Liberia. I guarantee you. If you give Cummings a chance, some of them will pack the Satoka, the Ghana must go, and they will never go back. And Cummings will chase them. I can say this. And I hope I can say this about Joseph Yima Bwaka.
We'll go after them, don't worry.
No. I hope I will say this tomorrow
about the law.
Well, how can you say
law, Mr. Cummings?
We saw what it did to our oil.
I'm talking now about breaking your back. And I hope I can say this because I believe also that Joseph Bwaka, being president and vice president, having the pen to the country, I think he can do the same. But I'm telling you right now, my fellow Liberians, please forgive me if I wrong you or I step on your wrong toe, your small toe. Forgive me. It's something about Mr. Cummings. I may not agree with everything he's doing or if people are doing, but it's something about Mr. Cummings that need to resonate in the minds of Liberian people that Mr. Cummings will prosecute to the fullest.
Speak.
That Mr. Cummings will change the system, that you will see Mr. Cummings and say, yes, the president coming. That you will see Mr. Cummings. No, it's not potatoes green. I am being very serious. I want you to go back to listen to Mr. Cummings. Forget about it, Fagon and playing joke. But I want you to go back. And I hope, and I want to hope that CPP people can just understand this. But it's Mr. Ahassan. If you make Mr. Cummings president today, people will leave Liberia as if to say Liberian have put the fellow Liberian in exile.
We'll follow the law.
People will leave because there will be no way finance minister will be that way. That we can say this. Mr. Cummings, the president, finance minister will be the first place he transform. I'm not advocating for Mr. Cummings. No. I've been just being really serious. Mr. Cummings, our president today, the free port of the Republic, the free port of Monrovia will be the place that no tabata will happen.
No wasteful spending.
Negotiation will be crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Anybody asks for shortcut and under the table, Mr. Cummings will prosecute to the fullest. I do agree with Joseph Yima Bwaka. He served as vice president. I understand that. But if you give Joseph Yima Bwaka the chance, what I have heard, Joseph Yima Bwaka is equally so trying to do the same thing, that he want to prosecute. Folks, in the opposition, understand and understand well.
I want to ask you one question. Too.
Yes,
ask you
ask
other
me a
question.
question.
Let me
Ask me a
ask you one
question.
question. In the last 12 years, Bweka was vice president. All the deal with Nokai, all the concession, I wouldn't want to call it, his son or Costa have already said the amount of concession that is signed, almost 60 something or 68 bad concession. Do you still believe that if you were given the same chance to make similar decision, if given power now, will not make the same bad decision?
You asked me a direct question. Bweka served as vice president.
Oh, no, the UP.
Yeah, but hold on now. He asked you a question now.
Yeah.
Something coming back. I mean, we got to get you a new laptop. That laptop, they're having problem with the audio. Bweka served as vice president. And you understand Liberia. Madame was Madame. Made a mistake, it would be the worst government you ever had. I think what Joseph Yema Bweka did, Liberians will give him, they choose to give him the benefit of the doubt and make him president comes October 10. We will see the real Joseph Yema Bweka. We will see it. There's advantage and disadvantage. 12 years, right? He had his shot for. He admitted and said, we squanders opportunities. But the final saying, what was Madame Salif? He cannot speak to the Liberian people today and say, I went against Madame Salif. That's not leadership. He had a problem with Madame Salif.
And he didn't say nothing.
In the back, he said,
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Let me finish. You didn't know what was done in the back. You didn't know.
So why would I hear it now?
You want him to come, but yes, the Liberian people problem. As far as I don't put a hand to a more, ready to let your whole show, that's fine. Yes, the Liberian people problem. You have two beautiful candidates. You have two good people that are trying to take this thing from George Manawea. Because in every capacity, two things happening right now with George Manawea. He's setting an exit to leave, or people just forcing him to stay.
So, teacher.
Because President we are right now,
sir,
President George Manawea right now have turned to be one of Liberia's worst president in the history of Liberia since 1822. They can get vexed with me. He have turned to be one of Liberia's worst. I know the student. President George Manawea have turned to be one of Liberia's worst president with everybody that's surrounding him. Look at we're talking about the carbon 50 billion they got in one for a bogus MOU just to get a cattle. Then you want us to believe and say, yes, that's the right thing to do? This is serious. You have Mr. Cummings, you have Joseph Yema Bweka. And opposition unity is unique. Please do not discourage it. Please do not discourage it. If you're not agent 1, you're not agent 2, you're not agent 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, accept the opposition unity and let Liberia be redeemed. Enough is enough. Our children are sitting on the street corner between cars. Honor of Joseph Yema Bweka, will you see that? Honor of Arizona Cummings, will you see that? But the government, George Manawea government, have accepted that this is the reality of life. People have not gotten paid for 3 months. It raining at the airport. It is true, we got a document. This George Manawea government have given the Ghanaian/Russian the contract for the airport. We'll discuss that tomorrow.
So the closing statement you're making?
I'm making my closing statement, sir. It is true that this government have given those things to foreigners because of fast money. Our country is bleeding. Today we receive information all unconfirmed by the National Election Commission. Imagine, guess what happened, Al Hussein? 58,000 people, almost 59,000, registered in Yeke district. Do you believe you got 59,000 people in district number 10? Mr. Rado Conte, 59,000?
Politicians will cost the election in another
Do
way.
you believe, Pagoro? Let's talk something serious. You got 59,000 folks in district number 10. Look at the document. Just to unseat Yeke Koluba. But I will say this to you. The opposition need to stand up. The opposition need to be united. The opposition need to speak with one voice. Enough is enough. They can crucify us. They can say what they want to say. Our country have gone. Folks in Liberia, they are no more spectator. They are your boy and your guest. I rest my case. I hope the day you guys allow me to be with you again, I will be happy to be with you guys. But thank God for Dr. Richardson. She said I should come in today. When we think about Liberia, man, when we think about the good folks out there that run into unseat George Manneh, we ask them, give them a chance. Give them a chance. Give Joseph Yuma Boakar a chance. Give Mr. Cummins a chance. Give Tewan Gonglo a chance. Those folks love Liberia. They desire the best of Liberia. They want a new Liberia. Everybody should ask for a new Liberia, when our children will be in school and after school programs. Today, 5 o'clock, the children should be in study class, like it used to happen to us. After school program, our children should be eating dinner and taking bath and getting ready for bed. After the study class, after the assignment is done, they should be on the laptop researching. That's what Liberia is asking for. That's what Leo Johnson is trying to do in Painesville. That's the leadership we ask for. Ask President George Manneh, when last he ever went into a kindergarten school to read to the student? President of this country will go to the school, elementary school, junior, and read to the student. Ask President when he ever entered a school classroom to open a book and say, John is a boy. Ask. I challenge anybody. When last has President ever entered a classroom unannounced and say, I'm here to observe the way you're teaching our kids?
President is a poor reader.
No, forget that one.
Him said I tell you.
You got to ask the president when he ever entered the classroom to take a Walter Saga book and read Murder in the Kassawa Path.
Man, I won't say Blamando.
Blamando, John is a boy, and read Esther Soul, Giogo, Elono, Enono, SGE, and ask the children to line up and set 2-time table, 2-time 1, 2, 2-time 2, 4. Ask President, we have the love for the children. Where is it? You bear 245 invisible path, and you want us to believe that's good for our children. The invincible path you bear when you really attend the swimming pool. Then you want us to believe it's good for our children. Guys, they're facing it, man.
What you call swimming pool? There is something called black bar.
I will sit on the floor and I will ask the CPP and I will ask the Unity Party, please do your best for a better Liberia. Do your best for a better Liberia.
Thank you.
Another 6 years of Jowea, trust me, will be the worst that ever happened in the history of our country. We have gone through a lot. You are listening to me by way of your radio. You are following us on the Spoon Talk, and we will keep it real with you. Another 6 years of President Weah will be the worst ever happened in our country.
Somebody did make every own speech.
It's important. You have never seen your president in the classroom, in the elementary classroom, Jimmy Joloko in first grade, in second grade. You have never seen your president to Botswana. You have to take a book, just a book, and read Johnny is a boy. You have never seen it. What's the law for our children? Give him 6 more years. The little girl that says she's 11 years old, the little boy, that person will be 17 with nothing in their head, and they will still be between cars. said and gone. Is that what you want for Liberia? Yes, folks. We have given this president a long time, and he chose not to transform the country. He has failed our country, Liberia. He has failed our country, Liberia. We are not perfect. I would say this on the show, we will laugh, we will joke. Obwaka Cummings, I trust and I believe, or Tewan Gonglo, I trust and I believe they will fight for the better Liberia. They will fight. They will leave a name that people will remember. I can say this to you. In my heart, I believe it. We will joke, we will laugh, we will say what we want to say. But I trust that Obwaka or the Cummings or Tewan Gonglo, people have good heart of Liberia because they have suffered. They will bring the best out of Liberia. They will transform the system. They will do good for the hospital, for our education. They will do good for our market women. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. And Liberia deserves better. And we must do this. I rest and I say thank you for giving me the time this week. I know I'm not on next week. I'm not on tomorrow. But I said it was a wonderful show every day. And we look forward to a beautiful year, a wonderful year, a good election. Wake up, Liberians. Wake up. Stop the fighting opposition. Wake up. We can laugh, we can joke. But opposition unity is important. George Manneh Weah must go. I'm saying it. I met him before. I ate with him. I spoke to him. He promised that he would transform, he would change the government. Tell me how many people have he changed from that government? He promised that he was going to do better. Tell me what have he done? I don't care if they close the station. I'm not the CEO of the station anymore. The folks that work at the station, I would just pray for them. This is election, my friend. They can say what they want to say, do what they want to do. I'm okay. But I will say this, my fellow Liberian, you will hear the truth and nothing but the truth. Your life depends on it. Your mom, your grandmom, your grandpa, their life depend on it. 6 more years, don't set it for the back arrest. 6 more years, don't set it for $10 or $20. Don't go and register to vote and give your voter registration card to a politician. Don't do it. Keep your voter registration card. Get in there and vote for the right person. Enough is enough. We are not talking about guns. We are not talking about bullets. We are talking about the ballot. Vote. Vote. And vote. We'll speak to the senators and the representatives. We will talk to them. The Lord talk about change. We hope the change that he asking for, he will encourage everyone for that better change. Youngly talk about change. Every one of them, they want change. We hope they can put aside their egos and preach a message that Liberians will hear. Enough is enough. I know the folks around George Weah, folks. I know them. I know they settle for 5 cents, 10 cents. I know them. But my fellow Liberians, 6 years, are you better off? 6 years into this government, have your life changed? Are you better off? We have to speak this and we have to preach this message. Give me Cummings, I'll take him. Give me Joseph Yima Bwaka, I'll take him. Give me Tewan Gonglo, I'll take him. Give me George Manneh Weah, I will refuse him because Liberia deserves better. And I say thank you. Have a good night. You can take your show.
Thank you. We can go into maybe take a few calls. Let's take a few calls and then hear from the Liberian people, and then we'll go into our closing. Maybe about 5 calls, and then take another 5 calls from the United States, and then Diamond, can you please come and just take 5 calls from Liberians Thank you. Just take 5 calls. They can tell their point of view on any of the topics we discussed tonight.
Okay, so the numbers to call 0777 771075 0555 101075. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you out, please.
My name is Josh K. Flomo, and I do join you from Electoral District No. 3.
Go ahead, Mr. Flomo.
Yes. You know, I'm concerned I got the call because when I listen to what was going tonight, you know, it tells me that Nigerians, we are not just serious. You have to listen to criminals.
Okay, take this other person here. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, let's hear you out, please.
Yeah, this is Johnny calling from Ghanaville.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to appreciate Mr. Stanton tonight. He spoke my mind. If Liberians are listening, I pray that Liberians listen and make you turn. What the government is doing to us is very bad. They are selling our future, our children's future. At the end of the day, tomorrow, when recess time reach, we will have nothing to eat at the recess hour. Let us stop selling our country.
Okay, sir.
At the end of the day, we'll turn to slaves in the country. Liberians are not listening.
All right. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Let's hear you out, please.
Can you get me?
You live, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you always pop me off because.
Okay. So we take another person, 0777 771075 0555 101075. Hello.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Hello?
please. Yep, you live.
Yes, my name is Abel Zwagugu King, calling from Capital Baba.
Go ahead.
Yes, brother, thank you to Waterspoon. You spoke my mind already. Look, let me tell you, we are suffering in Liberia. Those are in the diaspora, those are in Canada or whatsoever. We are really suffering in Liberia, my dear brother. Look, when you go in the community, look, the begging rate increase. The even prostitution rate increase. People hungry. Look at today's holiday. Look,
tomorrow.
Tomorrow holiday. You can hardly see collateral people that change money, people that loan people money. You can't, because one of the way that and money changer or other collateral people loan people money when government is paying on time. But government is not paying on time. Everywhere people protesting. And I'm betting for president, we have to be dancing Zuma or Buka. He came dancing again because he thought he was willing to only opposition. But some sedition, not get food when you dance, when people dying, you're doing all sorts of things, riding flashy car, and wearing the best of clothes, showing it. Now they are going to opposition. Now they are ready for October 10th.
All right, sir.
He shouldn't think on it. Because we are really suffering in Liberia, my dear brother.
All right, sir.
When some people that can defend when they say they want, ain't no they think really happy me, but we pray to God that nobody should go and do any
One last call, timer, and then we'll go to the diaspora call before we draw our closing.
All right, thank you. Take one more person here. Hello. 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 Okay. Dr. Richardson, this person here. Hello.
How are you, my brother?
Fine. Kindly go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yeah, you live. Go ahead, please.
My name is Manuel Thomas Greenfield from New Georgia Airspace.
You live, Mr. Greenfield. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to tell Almighty God, thank you for the entire thank you in studio. My brother, we just asking God for intervention Tell Ned man to just leave this nation. We are suffering too much on this government. And we tell thank you, God protect us. We asking God for intervention. Oh, we fall short against that, He forgive us. We tell you what kind of thing we're in.
Okay, thank you. So, Dr. Richardson, it's over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good day. Could you please come help us facilitate diaspora calls? Good day. Thank you. Can we facilitate 5 diaspora calls so we can go to our closing? I need to get home. I'm still in the office.
All right. Let me have the number up. I'm coming. All right. Plus 231 555 1111 99 is the number you can call. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, how are you? Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Eric Moore. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Okay, sir. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to reflect on a little bit of some of the things that my big brother Fagon was saying on the show. You know, we have this thing the Liberian people have been yearning for about GMB and coming together. And Fagon, he almost sounds like he's opposing it. I don't know what he really wants.
All right.
You know, but I know that's what the Liberian people want. So we all should embrace it.
Okay.
And we should not be against it.
All right. Let me get this score. That's what the Liberian people want. Good evening. Your name and where you calling from? Your background is noisy, sir. Your background is noisy. I'm not getting your background. Can't permit me to get you. So let me get this. I'm coming. Before this female can cause noise on me again, let me get her. Okay, so hello. Yeah, go ahead, make your point.
Okay, my point here is
First, your name and
understand.
First, your name.
Right, my name is Eugenia Coles from Illinois.
Go ahead.
I do not agree, first of all, with Mr. Cummings collaborating with VP Boycott to come as vice president, because it's funny how Sargon and Stanton sat here and laid out all these different deals and things that's been going on with Liberia and what this government has put us into, not forgetting or deliberately forgetting that Joseph Boycott shares the same mindset that has facilitated this bad governance that has led us to where we are today. How can we use that same mindset to take us out when he is responsible partially for putting us into where we are today? That's why you have somebody like Cummings who is new with fresh ideas. And yes, what Dr. Richardson said earlier is true. If you can manage a Fortune 500 company or whatever, a corporate world, you can definitely manage Liberia. Liberia is the size of Tennessee. If he can manage a hell of a budget like with Coca-Cola, he could definitely manage our budget in Liberia. And I don't appreciate how they like to just forget that Boycott is part of the problem. Why? Because he's older now and we should let him have his turn? No, he missed that opportunity. He missed his opportunity. 40-something years in government, and he has nothing to show for it.
All right.
We're not responsible that he's in his old age and now he wants to take Liberia back. No, he missed it. And it's time to move on. That ship has sailed, or that train has left, like Eugene said. But it left with Boycott wanted going nowhere.
All right. Thank
you.
Thank you.
Welcome, female callers.
Hello. Okay. Hello.
We'll do just one more, James.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you put me on now? Is that possible?
You are live on the radio. Go ahead and call your name and We know.
Mr. Gab, I'm calling for the United Kingdom, from London.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Gab.
Please call your full name.
I'm Mr. Moses Gab, calling from London.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm alive, right?
Yeah, you are live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make just a little few point here, We that live in the diaspora, we need to really realize what the Liberian people want. The Liberian people have spoken. They said they want Breaker and Cummings. Let us in the diaspora, let us stand as opposition, putting a more that Cummings will go ahead or Breaker should put Cummings here on. We need to look at where the wave is going.
Okay.
We need to know that the Liberian people are gravitating to Papa Breaker. Let us give Breaker the chance. The people have spoken. Breaker is now, Cummings is the future. Let us start. We are in the diaspora. Let us start promoting the people suffering. I just listening to what the people have said in Liberia. They are suffering. They are suffering. But we are in the diaspora. We are the ones creating this problem, especially those from the ANC and the UP party. These are the people that are causing problem for the Liberian people. These are the ones. I can tell you now. Just give me 1 second, brother.
Conclude.
If you look at on the program, on the spoon program, you got Dr. Percy there. You got Colonel Remy Gray there. You got Eugene Fagon there. You got Fatih God there. But most of the time, when Sister Muna Ibazo, Muna who's ever come on the program, Sister outside Matu, they all want to come on to say that Cummings should always add a ticket. Let Breaker put Cummings here on. It's not what the people want.
All right, sir.
At this present time, the people with Breaker. Let Cummings go with him, man, and let's get that government job out of the picture.
All right.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good day. Thank you. If you don't have any more calls, we'll move on to our closing. Okay.
All right. Hello.
Last one.
Hello?
Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Tommy calling from VA.
Go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to give my contribution. So there's another aspect of this whole carbon thing that I feel like the panelists need to talk a little.
Hello?
Doesn't not only prevent other companies from coming in, but it creates something called monopoly, meaning those who purchase the credits are the only ones who are going to determine what sort of companies come to the country, what the price is going to be. And at the end of the day, it affects each and every one of us. And I'll close on this. There's one way all of us Liberians can try to help prevent that. It's not just talking. It's registering to vote. So I'm urging people again, go out, register to vote, and vote for the right candidate.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Good day. We appreciate you and Diamond helping us here. We're going to move on to our closing. I want to start first with Al Hussein, and then we're going to go to Conor Remy Gray, and then I will go. And
I don't know.
Fago will take us home.
Why you want me to show long? Me, I'm going to
Don't be the last. Okay, I'm going to wait my time. I'll go first. Yes, please. Good day.
I don't know. They probably been on the line for the longest. I don't know if I can squeeze it in.
Okay, go ahead. We'll take one.
All right.
We'll make an adjustment.
All right, go ahead. Call your name and where you calling from. Hello? Reconnect. I think for this one.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Call your name and the place you're calling from.
My name is Andrew. I'm calling from the Netherlands. The good thing is that this deal will not work. There will be no Cummings and Burger ticket. So let's start wasting our time. The good thing is it will never happen. Whether they merge and some merge, it will not happen. But
oh, what happened to James?
Joe Buck, how they call you said, Mr. Weir will beat him like market dog. Sorry to
Okay. Yes, thank you for whatever is happening. We're gonna go to closing. I will start first, and then I will swap my space with Fadiga. Is that okay with you? But you know, I have a system here where I let Fagon take us home. So I know.
No, we're pas content there. We want to talk again. I think we're pas
So
content
then
that
we'll
tree.
just go home.
We're pas content that tree. Then we'll put
It's
that
okay.
tree.
It's okay. We'll make our
I
point.
want to go first. Let me go first.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's
Thank
keep
you
it
for
today.
volunteering. Go ahead, Mr. Fagon.
Here is my closing. I've sat down for an hour, and many of the people listening and watching us will attest to it. I listened to everybody talk about the carbon thing. When they got you, we jump on Boakai. What will Kumis do on day one with the MOU? Somebody giving feedback. I think if we can mute our microphone. Everybody witnessed. I didn't say a word. I didn't interrupt anybody as you sold your candidate to the Liberian people. What will they do with the MOU? How they will prosecute people? What will Boakai do? Boakai sat in the Senate. He squandered opportunities. I never had the chance to speak. And I sat until this very moment. From Pete Cook saying what you got to say about me, and the other man say you don't even know where I am. I was quiet. And I think that's the kind of accord we should give to everybody because it's a marketplace. Sell your candidate, sell your goose. When it's time for me to sell my own, even if I say your candidate here sharp like ash, be patient. Because I want to destroy your candidate to put my candidate up. When you come, you tell my candidate, say he squandered opportunity. He presided over the Senate and served bogus deals. You say, all I want, I was quiet. But when it's time for me to speak, I get interrupted. So that's why I was sitting quiet for almost an hour. In my closing, all I have to say, the main man I wanted to answer that Stanton, he gone. He stopped the son and he run away. Why he ran away? Because he had allowed all of you to sell Kumis. You sold Kumis today, but you never gave me the chance to even respond for Boakai. But let me say this in my closing. As an experienced person, first and foremost, and I'll put it in the chat room so I can sound it from Fagon. A memorandum of understanding is required by an agency for financial purposes. It is not an agreement. Any agreement that reaches that amount or even close to the $10 million mark must be signed by the lower house and signed by the upper house. Confirmed. So a memorandum of understanding, Joseph Boakai does not have to honor it. He has that experience of government already to know that it is only a memorandum of understanding and not an agreement. Joseph Boakai will not even waste his time because as an experienced man, he will solicit the views of experts, including you, Fadiga, who is now studying the situation. So Joseph Boakai is not stroke of a pen man. Joseph Boakai presided over the Senate. If you know government like I do, he presides over the Senate. He's not a mere voting. He only breaks the tie. Of the 66 agreement that was bogus, did the Senate ever reach a tie for VP to break it? Not once. So if people don't know government and how it functions, they need to step back. Because yes, you can preside over the Senate, but you don't have that voting right unless in the case of a tie. The people elected a representative, the representative do their job. You are only there to preside. You're not there to vote. Finish. On the issue of the gentleman saying, I sound like I'm not for it. Let me let the gentleman know I'm frustrated. And I have witnesses to prove my frustration. From day one, as we preached for this ticket, we were beaten down, stepped on, and kicked aside. Even up to about 5 days ago, and even today, people are refusing that this is not what Kumi should settle for. Now, every election, anyone will bear me witness tonight that you should prepare at least 1.5 years to the election. But today, they're fighting. We are now 5 months to election. And people come to you and say, this is the ticket we want. Let's start all over. If you notice my story to all of you on the platform, I am saying, damn it, the train has left. If you want catch up, run behind it and jump on it. It doesn't mean that you should run behind a physical train because there is no physical train. It simply means that we are frustrated and we're going to get 5 months to print our t-shirt, our banners, set up our campaign team, and move. All of us here now should choose a candidate and take a side. I have chosen the side of the Liberian people because in my elections, no one votes for a vice president. You vote for the head of the ticket, which is the president. I have chosen in these elections for now that I will support, as an independent myself, Joseph Numa Boakai, because that is what the Liberian people asked for. They asked for Kumis to serve as running mate to JMB. But for the most part, Kumis said he's not running for vice president. The display of Musa Belete last night drew me to the conclusion that the train must leave because we have work to do. We are not waiting again for Belete and others to tell us, and this is my submission to you, we are not waiting. We are leaving. If y'all can run and catch up with us, fine. If y'all can't catch up, we are gone, and we're not looking back. I respectfully submit.
You take that old train from that train in
We're gonna go to Conor Remy Gray, and then I would speak, and then Fadiga would take us home. Conor Gray.
All right. Well, sometimes one of the best ways to solve conflict is for all parties to just keep quiet. Don't make any justification. Don't make comment here. Don't make comment here, because you tend to flare someone's temperament when you make this kind of comment. The train has left. The train is wrecked. It's in the service station or in the service depot. It has not left. That engine is broken. It's there and if it's fixed at all, the conductor of that train will be Cummins. So let's stop all this imagination that the train has left. This person is more qualified. We have resolved to say one of the best tickets that will not bring much, struggle to the Liberian people in this election coming up in October. It's a Cummins, Buckeye Cummins ticket. Either way to go it. So they're not saying, when people ask say why now, my question is why not now? Because what we know now, if we knew it then, we'll not be fighting among ourselves. We have one small pool of voters that we're going to be fighting over, while another person get a guaranteed 30%, 25%. That individual might likely cross the River Jordan easily. Then you who get 5, 6, 7, you share all of the little vote that you're supposed to get. So what I can tell anybody, let's stop all this justification. Train has not left. Train has left. And I believe either way you place Mr. Cummins, he will be the eyes of the Liberian people. It will be the check and balance in any administration. This is not going to be the JMB, Madam Salif administration, where one person was parked in the garage, a sport car, and mute. Anyway, you put Cummins is going to say, well, you know what? My hand's not in this, because that's the character he brings to the table. But I always say, these two men, they stand to lose the most. This could be Ambassador Barker last time running for the presidency. And I want to believe, I've spoken with Cummins before, he was forced literally to run for a second time. And if he doesn't have it this time, I don't think you will ever get Cummins. Even if they gave me a white ballot, say nobody running against you for the presidency, go. Cummins will. He's a man of his word. But sometimes you have to take compromise. That's why you see, and I believe sometimes the voice of the people, Cummins is a kind of guy when a lot of folks talking, he's paying attention. I'm pretty sure he probably would say, you know what? I can be intransigent at a certain level. I don't know if the Ambassador Buckeye has that same temperament, but Cummins is the kind of guy, he's probably sat there and listened. What people are saying that Musa Belete said this, Musa Belete said clearly. You can see, look, the fact that we went to Farmington, Cummins sat there and allowed Ambassador Buckeye to speak on behalf of the opposition. That is courtesy. These are all signs that people are willing to be flexible because the country is involved. Don't come, yeah, lots of folks who probably don't even have proximity to Cummings will make comment. That is what we call when you factionalize things, that's what will happen. You have folks who speak as though they are speaking, in the first voice or the voice of Cummings. But I want to believe Cummings is a very rational person. He has sat there and looked at the issue, and probably lots of folks have reached out to him. If the two men miss this election this time because they divide the vote, then another crookish guy who just waiting for the slightest opportunity to dump the ballot and so he can run away with it, you give that man the opportunity. But if you defeat this man, you drag him like how come our Darius Dillon dragged, you understand, the CDC in Montserrat, definitely he will have no room to cheat. That in that sense we're saying, let these two people come together. I'm not going to say one person should go up or the other person, but they should form that ticket. Whether or not one goes in up, one goes down, that is a decision that they two must make alone by themselves. And I think we're too noisy out here. I'm praying that when they sit to let reason prevail, all these noisemakers will not be around, because you know what? They're not the one feeling the pinch. At the end of the day, if they miss this, George Weah takes it, LeBron Pope going to see those people and hit them to the core. I believe that. So that is what they get. Look, the biggest elephant in the room is that George Weah must not be president for a second term. I think that is more daring than Joseph Boakai becoming president or becoming president, madam. So I'll rest my case by saying, let's stop all this rationalization. Who does this? Who does that? Let us just go and try to push that ticket any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Colonel Gray. I want to just start by saying I want to thank you callers for calling into this station and verbalizing your views. I want to thank you panelists. You guys know that I appreciate you being on the show, Mr. Fagon. You are right when you say that this is a marketplace of ideas, and you talk your own, I talk my own, as we can say, in the back. And this is what we want to model for Liberian people. We don't hate each other. We can agree to disagree. I also want to thank you, commentators, no matter what you said, whether you are pro, against, for, indifference. We appreciate you having your ideas in the comment section. I want to close by actually focusing on Mr. Cummings. Okay. And the focus is Mr. Cummings is someone who has worked in two different systems for an extensive amount of time. He was in Liberia. He worked in a banking system in Liberia. He also went to school in Liberia. One of the things about Liberia is the kind of country where you're born there, no matter how. This is so annoying when I'm speaking and somebody puts this up. I don't know who did that. I don't appreciate it. If you're going to do that, please consult with me, at least in the background. Thank you. Okay, because I lose my train of thought when I'm doing this. And I'm trying to say to you that once you are a Liberian and the love that you have for Liberia, it stays within inside of you. Okay, it's a systemic thing that stays within inside of you. All right. And it's a blessing when you can leave our country and get exposed to the outside world and learn something and then say, I want to go back home to give back to my country. And this is, in a nutshell, the experience of Mr. Cummings. He was exposed to two different systems, and he learned from those two different systems. And he wants to go back home and contribute the idea of what competence looks like, the idea of what interest for Liberia looks like, not just interest to cover whole doctrine as we're seeing happening now. It's not just interest of greed or interest of incompetence. As I said to you, when you're in a system, in the modern world system, you learn about competence. You learn about interest. It's not about yourself. You learn about check and balance system, which is what definitely he has learned over the past couple of years. When people talk about, oh, he's building corporation, and Liberia is a country that is different from corporation. Guess what? In corporations and in country, people work to make things happen, to have an outcome. And that's exactly what he has demonstrated time over time, that he is profit driven, he's outcome driven. And that's what we need to look at in Liberia. We can't look at winnability. We've tried winnability. Yes, winnability is a hallmark of diversity, but guess what? Winnability has not worked for us time over time. We have to add pieces, like someone who's competent, someone who's interested in Liberia, okay, in the interest of Liberian people. Mr. Cummings, well, definitely the question was asked, will he engage in perpetuating this deal? Well, I'm sure as a reasonable someone who works in two different systems, and I can relate to that, and many of us on this show can relate to that. He's going to look at it. He's going to read it. He has the stamina enough to read it. He's going to explore this. He's going to consult with people in the region who have had similar proposals and see what they have done. And he's going to bring in experts on the table, competence people, and this is what we're missing. And, I want to close by just talking about the issue that we started off with somewhere in the middle of the show, where we're talking about the children. Of course, that is very dear. As a mom, that is very dear to my heart. I would be, remiss if I didn't sit here and talk about the children in Liberia, how we are destroying our next generation. A competent government, a government with a plan, would have developed a task force to deal with that issue. Now, some of you on here, Fadiga, you can argue that, oh, this is an age-old Liberian problem. But when government takes over, you take the responsibility of what you have. The buck stop with you, as they can say in the American government, in the American public. So you will develop a plan to address the issues. You can't say, oh, I'm not going to address the issue because it was here since 1847. At least have a pathway. The issue that I saw in the streets of the children selling related to psychological problems that they can develop, PTSD. Every day you walk in between cars, the threat of being killed is what we call traumatic events. All right? Increase your anxiety, ability to concentrate. Now, how do we expect these children to go to school after going through all of these anxiety-provoking situations? Then we're going to move to the medical issue that this has a propensity to create. The medical issue related to the heat exhaustion, standing in the heat all day trying to sell to make $1. Walking on your feet all day, fatigue. Then do we expect that kid to be able to go to school and be able to concentrate and excel in school? I think not. Okay? And it makes sense to me why we have such a high dropout rate. It makes sense to me why children are overaged in a certain class. It makes sense to me why this guy would say, I'm in the 11th grade or I dropped out. When we look at some of the global issue that relates to these children in school, it relates to our economy. We have not developed, we are taking money out of our budget and allocating it to, the president has $150 million as his own discretion to put lightings. That's one of the things I said. He said, I'm going to put lightings in cities. What happened to these children? Why have he not prioritized these children in the streets? We are allotting money to Claire Wia in our budget. For the first time, we are giving money to a first lady. Why can't we redirect some of those funds to study what is the issue of our children? There's no laws relating to schools. What happened when they're not in school? There's the housing issue. One of the kids said, I pay rent. I'm in school. Yeah, I have to pay rent. One of the parenting skills, the parentification of these kids. Now they are the ones being the adults. Now they have to take responsibility for caring for the parents. Education, of course, education was described as a mess by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf already. Security issues. That's a security threat for our next generation. Now, the solution obviously is money, and I told you exactly that $150 million that George Weah has in his budget. Take it out. Focus on our children, and that's what a Cummings government will do. We'll look for loopholes, wasteful spending, and redirect it to the best interest of our country. We will use the experts. will understand what people are doing in the region to decrease some of these societal ills. And we would use a check and balance system. And this is what you get when you've worked in multiple systems in your life. Not stay in a system for a very long time and then waking up and say, oh, just because I've been in the system for a very long time, I should lead. No, it doesn't work like that. It's like me being in class. And a student who's been a B student, just because he's older than a student who's an A student, and then I say, oh, just because you're older, you're a B student, so come and be the head of the class. It's never worked like that. The democracy is a system of competition and ideas. And on that note, I rest my case. I'm going to turn it over to Fadiga. Fadiga, please close us.
Yeah, at least I'm getting 10 minutes now. If I go with that talk. Well, you ask an American, they will say God and country first. Now, one of the greatest slogans I've heard in this country for years since I moved to this country. And they do not just say it in words, they mean it when they say God and country first. What do the Liberians say when you ask them? They say me, myself, and I, my tribe, my county, my partisan, my political leader. And this one country, the only place that we have, rather than treating it as if to say it's our child, we have mutilated it to the point that we do not even know how to put it back together. It's easy for us to say who the problem, who did this and who did that. But at this time, sometimes it can be very tempting. There are so many people out there that have chicken side. Some people for genuine reason, other people because when they join the political institution, it is to fill a belly. It is for what they can get. It is for personal interest. It has never been about the country. And such people would never want us to come together. What they want us is to keep being divided because they feel that when we come together, it takes away food from their table. That means if Boyka win, oh yeah, I will not get a job. If Cummings win, oh yeah, that minister job I'm supposed to get. So they lose sight of the biggest picture, the bigger picture. And what is the bigger picture here? Look, I'd rather someone slice me, cut me up, call me all kinds of names, backstabber, what other niggas talk, AJ or Chin, sell out, call me all the names. I'm willing to take it. But if we can do one thing, ensure that this government is not giving another 6 years. It is bad for Liberia. And how can we do it? We have an elderly statement. The Unity Party that was in power for 12 years. And in as much as I'm tempted to say some of the things that some of the problem and the shortcoming of the Unity Party, I believe that at this time, our focus should be on President Weah. He is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And we are wasting precious time talking on impossibility when the possibility of opposition collaboration is endless. Where almost 90% of the country is crying and screaming that we are suffering, we're tired of suffering. And we're talking on trivial things like finger document, we punish the war. These are the price you pay. I don't think our political leaders are angry or are even going to spend their lifetime worrying about this thing. That will make you a presidential candidate. You have elephant skin. Your skin becomes so thin because people will cause you know what we did to Donald Trump. I've seen people take on the pants and show that beyond to Donald Trump in this country. So those when people tell me, oh, the politician, someone calls a man, I just laugh because that should be the least of your worry. What you should be worried is somebody will threaten you. That's why in the country when you threaten the president, you threaten any kind of official, they will put you in jail. That one, they can't play with it. But you can cause, say any kind of thing. And we are fighting on these things. What can they do? We know, I know what the Unity Party did. I know, Kwame has never worked in this government before. He doesn't have anything, it's clear. Nobody has said that Mr. Comey is not competent. Nobody has said that Mr. Comey would not be good. It's just that our way of selecting leaders is different. It's not like the rest of the world. It's a little different. But it is our style. And how can we win this thing? We have to somehow conform. It doesn't mean that it doesn't take away from our fundamental belief. It doesn't in any way take away from what you want. But what we need to focus on, this CDC administration. Joseph Boyka, this is his last time running, like it or not. I do not believe I can bet my life Mr. Boyka will not be on the ballot 2029. So this man has served in so many capacities. The last thing he can do to leave a legacy is to serve as a vice president, as a president. That's the last thing anyone can do. So if you believe that, Cummings has a long future. He has a long way. We need to have common sense. Let common sense ring here. I'm not saying that Mr. Cummings is not the best person in this race. We all know. We can't keep talking on what we already know. What we should be talking about is how we can kill this 800-pound gorilla. That means physically, but politically, and remove it from our system. And the surest way the Liberian people have told us. Some people say they have not told us, but even if the Liberian people don't say it, you look at all the state on our political stage right now, the two giants are Mr. Cummings and Boyka. One go top, one go bottom. That is a winning ticket. Boyka goes first, Cummings goes first, or Cummings goes first, Boyka goes second. That is a winning ticket. How it work up, it's like you play your team and you say, oh, what Messi go on this time, why won't put the people? When you got two strikers on the team, and like you put all the international two strikers on the team, you will still win. Why would you be worrying about who come in for, who play for her, who play second half? It's a winning team, it's a dream team. Why would you want to roll the dice and gamble when chances are nobody has to no more? We are doing the same thing that we did in 2017. And then when it comes second round, y'all will be crying, oh, why you need the Liberty Party and they endorse us? Now the reason we win, they will be crying and doing all crying. That's the same thing ground you're setting, the same stage you're setting. Because if we go into this thing with all unity, we'll come out, even second round, that is unity will remain. All we are saying, we're not, nobody, I can argue here for coming position any day. Nobody can argue I can argue against Boyka. I can make the best case against Mr. Boyka. I can make the best case against anybody who wants. That is what politics do with divide. But at this time, is it necessary? Is Boyka on the ballot? Is he the problem right now? Let us direct our attention to the 800-pound gorilla in the room right now, which is the CDC. And I think everybody on board. I heard that in Chairman Billete voice last night. I hear that in all the people that we are talking to. The only people that say nothing are just few people that say it can't happen. But these people have their own personal reason. I will not say that it's wrong, but we can focus on what is possible. In opposition, in as much as this unity is possible, unifying is also possible. Let us focus on the possibility and form a dream team. But for people to keep poking holes in it, or they want, these are all to just stir up our divide. And I'm appealing to Mr. Boyka today. The onus is on you. Mr. Cummings got nothing to do with it. For people to blame Mr. Cummings, I won't call for going before you say you won't come out again, but I see somebody in the African suit keep pushing this thing, saying that Mr. Cummings, they told him 4 years ago, he said so. Mr. Cummings came nothing to win. This is a very, look, I work in corporate America. A lot of us that work in corporate America will know how difficult it is. This man is very competitive. He come in the race with his people and his army behind him to win. Everybody, even Taiwan Gongo with his broom, he wants to win. Everybody want to win. For you to guys say, oh, go in my son, this is not a coronation exercise, but it has reached to the point that it is a silly season. This is time everybody do stupid things. So now we need to let the elders sit down and think that the future of Liberia is at stake. How can we restore sanity back to that country? How can we stop the bleeding? Use the present person that can make it happen, and then we use the future to transform. It is possible. Let us focus on Georgia. I hate that, and I'm going to spend my next time not even though I'm tempted until Mr. Boyka can name his vice president running mate and decide that he will neglect what the Liberian people want. I will refrain from saying anything, even if the temptation is high. I will refrain from saying anything negative against him. When the battle line is June, where that red line has been June, and everybody take their position, we have to reverse back to our candidate and protect our individual candidate, because that is the way they want it, and that is how they want the country. But until then, let us keep focusing on the possibility. I want us to turn our bazooka on bad governance. I want us to turn our bazooka on the people that are selling our mineral before us. I want us to focus our attention on insecurity. I want us to focus our attention on all the different bad things, nepotism, tribalism, all the different isms that have held us back. I want us to turn our attention on those people that are proven to be not in the interest of the Liberian people. Let us direct our attention to them. We spend more time talking on impossibility. Let us now focus on the irrelevant. If it not work, fine. But we'll keep hoping for the best, preparing for the worst, and whatever comes out of it, we are prepared to fight for our individual candidates. You are muted.
Nobody interrupted any of your tonight. Not fun.
I interrupt you too. I just call your shit.
No,
Okay.
yesterday, the day before yesterday.
You're fine. I gotta
I
drive
just call
home.
your shit.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We'll talk later. Bye bye.
You talk about the 800 gorilla over 20 million times. Nobody said fun. But as soon as somebody wants to say that, body, yeah, don't say body, yeah.
But Fango, elole, that Jeremiah Kunga post on me your pocket.
Hey, he post on in my pocket on your face, oh, and can't with that shit. I bought that shit for you, like, hey, bro, why you take it off?
No, yeah. Maybe I got one red shirt
for you.
I got more than one red.
The man who I bought a dash shit, Jeremiah Cook gave me the money. I buy it for the ANC, man. The ANC man will key today.
Oh, man. The Jeremiah.
For what you buy?
Maybe you won't be the main chief of staff, right?
You can't put the ANC people picture over the finish printing for Cummings and Baga. I beg you, man. I won't call the paper before
I put it up there between private, so I don't want to put it up there.
Doc is gone. Don't worry.
ANC people think they finish video.
Yeah.
Suit that Francis saw it. She said, "What's that? You're distracting me."
She could not believe it.
She could not believe. Come here, around. She said, "When I'm speaking, that thing can take me for that, man." Look,
you know, you got to give it to Dr. Francine. She barely loses her cool, but that's who she is, man. You know, I think she has held.
But show your man John when he was suffering and he until how they were looking.
I don't have it up. I don't have it up.
You put it there. As soon as you put it out, the woman, Dr. Francine, what's that?
She made me scared. I stop.
I beg you. Please hold that thing. Anytime that a president talking, just put it there. Fuck.
Don't
do it. My hand is that president. I'm sorry.
I beg you. When she be talking about our student and test, I would just put it there. What's that? Who's this?
Dr. President, I'm sorry. That's me.
Oh my God. Yeah, James Goody.
All right, Bossman. Diamond? TI. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And by God's willing, the team will be back tomorrow. It was a good time being with you. And tomorrow edition is going to be another fascinating program. Thank you so much for always stopping by to form part of this conversation. Until we meet, I am James Goode Flomo. Bye-bye.